Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another live stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. And today we are going to take our A32NX A320 NEO for a flight from here in Newcastle down to, lo and behold, Palma de Mallorca. This livery it's a really striking one. It wasn't around for long. It actually came out. Let me just turn down some audio. It actually came out. Only in 1999, and it was pretty much gone by the end of 2001, and it was fitted to about 4 aeroplanes, so it's not been around much, so it's quite rare. But Mike V on flightsim.to has put one up quite a while ago, actually, one of the first liveries to go up on flightsim.to. So yeah, I couldn't resist taking it for a spin. We have used this livery on the channel, one of our first liveries that we used back when I started streaming almost a year ago now. May was my first stream, May 2020. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. We recently passed 40,000 subscribers, so thank you all for helping reach that milestone. I really can't believe it. It doesn't matter. We just carry on as we are, and as long as we're enjoying it, we'll keep doing it. But it's still a nice sort of moment to reach 40,000. In particular, when it feels like just yesterday we did the 30,000 stream, the long haul flight. So yeah, I'm excited. We did arrive very recently into Orbex's Newcastle in X-Plane 11, so now we're going to depart Orbex's Newcastle in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Very kind of Orbex to provide the scenery for the flight again today. Jumping into the chat then and saying hello. Thank you all for coming along. It's great to see you guys here. Obviously loads and loads of names, so I do apologize, but Dr. Darinaho, good to see you. Chickpoint, Savage Haters, Zibid, Ethan's Aviation, Mark, I hope you're all doing well, and Joseph Kadeko, I hope you're doing well, Stephen, Andrew, James, thank you all for taking time out of your day to come and watch along today. Sky, Ebos, Green Guy, Jetpack Away, flying along in a first choice, or a jet set, I would hope, an Air 2000, AMM87 Golf, fantastic. Jetpack Away, good to see you, thanks for coming along. Ralph Skyperian, Tango Delta, good to see you as well. Yep, final countdown indeed. Evening, John, Rasmus, and Bob Atwell. I hope you're all doing well. And Simon Fisher. Simon Fisher says, finally had my first solo today after my flight cancelled twice because of bad weather in Germany. Fantastic first solo. What an amazing moment. I hope you loved it. It's one of those defining moments in aviation for everybody. So yeah, thank you for coming, Simon, and I hope you had a great time. Savage Haters as well. Dave, good to see you again. Glad you are doing well. Only to my second live stream. Fantastic. Glad you made it. Mickey, Flight, everyone else. James Cooper, thank you so much. The pair's already made an appearance. £5 donation. Thank you so much, James. Really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you as ever. You support the channel so much, and it's really kind of you. I hope you're doing very well, James, wherever you are. And thank you again for your donation. Really, really kind. Paddy, good to see you. Paddy normally makes our retro liveries, but this one appeared on flightsim.to quite early on in the process. So Paddy was beaten, as was Window Seats, for the opportunity to make this one. But yeah, we'll have a look at it as we get going. But I hope you're doing well, Paddy, and thanks for all your work on the channel as ever. And of course, Window Seat, our resident engineer, Mr. Espresso, C. Gonzalez, Bacon Warrior, loads and loads of names I recognise. And the funny thing is, earlier today I went through some of the old streams, and it was amazing how many names I recognised. You know, from we had 18 viewers at the peak of our first stream, so it was amazing how many of those names have stuck around, which really makes me very, very happy. So that's great. Ryan Videos is Virgin 90 with you for another flight. Fantastic, Ryan Videos. I hope it goes well. True Gaming, Mash, Simon, Benny, Dominic. Fantastic, guys. Right. No controller again. Right. Well, we know how to deal with that. I think we proved our self-controlling abilities in the last flight. So here we go. So we're in GV Med today. I actually have a model of GV Tan on my desk at the moment. But yeah, these were the 320s they had. They didn't obviously have any Neos, which didn't exist at the time, but all with quite funky registrations. This one at the front, as you can see, they also added the smile. So you got the sun painted on the side, the bright red engine, so you can't forget you're on a Virgin aircraft. And then you can see Mediterranean Maiden written up on the front, as sort of a bit of a smile, like a bit of a smiley face. So yeah, really nice. This livery seems spot on to me. I was really, really pleased to find it. And what's nice about this one is, as we saw with Paddy's CRJ efforts and a few other liveries out there, it's got a bit of grime, a bit of dirt to it. So you got the streaks down the windows, bits of the same thing around the rudder, which does, these planes do get grubby. So yeah, but it still looks glorious and gleaming. As Paddy says, got to turn down the screen brightness if you're going to watch this one on your TV or something. Mark, thank you so much, Mark, for your £40 donation. Incredibly kind, Mark. Mark says, for 40k, FYI, I won't be doing it at 50k. Thank you so much, Mark. That's incredibly generous. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. It's really kind. Loads of you have supported the channel a lot over the year, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mark, for your £40 donation. Really kind. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you're doing very well. Obviously in the UK, Mark. So yeah, thank you so much for coming along and donating towards the channel. I hope you enjoy the stream today, and I hope you enjoy the long haul stream coming to celebrate 40,000. I promised it. It is coming soon. We will do it. Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much, Mark. Really, really kind of you. Thank you again to James, of course. Yeah, John, yeah, we just passed 40k. I'll be making a post and we'll be doing a bit of a live stream soon. Kai, good to see you. Kai says that's bananas. But there we go. So thank you very much, Mark, again. Dr. Darinaho says, I hope you have your party hat on and I hope the catering brings us beverages. Yeah, well, we'll talk about what sort of catering you get on the Virgin Sun flights pretty shortly. It's quite different. But yeah, great stuff. Right, so let's jump in. Now, this is the latest fly-by-wire. There we go. This is the latest fly-by-wire A32NX custom autopilot version. Still not in the installer, although I believe that's coming soon. I can't wait for that to happen because it will make my life a lot easier. At the moment, I'm having to constantly redo things. We are going to be on VATSIM, so anyone who wants to fly along, you can go to Streamlabs. You'll see the route printed there. There's a few other people starting to spawn in, which is great. And yeah, we'll see what's different. First of all, I'm going to turn on the iPads because we want to get the fuel here, and that does take a bit of time. So let's let that load up. Mash, good to see you. Mash, I thought you were drunk to begin with. Turns out I had playback on 75% after transcribing some jazz solos. There you go. Glad it wasn't me. Although I probably were a bit clearer at 75%. Fusion Freestyle, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're doing well. There we go. Grounds, fuel. You've got to click on it quite early. Let's get the passengers and the forward door, get those passengers on, and the external power. There we go. The external power truck pulls up, and they do actually plug it in. So this ground handling that they do does work really nicely by the fly-by-wire team. You've got to give it a second. There's the GPU cable. I mentioned in my ground handling video, it's not where the GPU actually plugs in. It plugs in further forward of the nose gear bay, just plugs in under here. But they do have this hook modeled correctly, which is quite good to see. But anyway, let's get that on. So, jump into the flight deck. Fueler will be on the way. They'll appear. The stairs will open up. Good stuff. So yeah, jump in. Norm off. Weather radar off. Down. Wiper selectors off. Get those batteries on. Both looking good voltage. Although they have actually drained since I've been here. So fly-by-wire have now added drainage of the batteries into the electrical system, which is really good stuff. So batteries are on. Solar power on. We won't do the full cold and dark stuff. We're just going to power up in a bit of a flight sim sort of way. Bit of a long flight today, guys. 2 hours 20 minutes to get down to Palma. We're a bit further north, so I'm sure the people up here would love the chance to go somewhere sunny. Although it's actually been not too bad a day. So there we go. Ollie Nut says, "What city are you flying?" We are expecting to fly the Gurley 3 X-ray. It was my plan, but that was from runway 25, and judging by the winds, it may have swapped around. We shall see. Giuseppe Gaming, good to see you from Twin for Night. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming along. Mr. Espresso says, we'll be flying along with the A32NX custom version, hoping it won't fail me. Fingers crossed. I've been trying this one out, and they fixed the fuel flow, crucially, so there we go. But anyway, yeah, and let's get ourselves underway. Ground control works now. Get the IRSs to nav. Down here, strobe lights to auto. Nav lights definitely can come on. Smoking sign. That still isn't sitting quite in the right position. You know I'm not a fan of this starter switch. And we're going to go with normal flow, leave all the packs on, leave the GPU on. We could do our battery electric check. As I said, they've now added this. There you go. So they do drain and charge, which is amazing, really. Now it's up at 28 volts, so great news. Fuel pumps can come on because we'll be going fairly soon. And we can, why not, run our engine fire tests, APU fire tests. They do normally turn off pretty much immediately when you release it. There you go. Oh, no, please don't do that. There we go. Great stuff. Radio panel up there should be on, but the audio control panel is usually hidden away. Right, let's get rid of that. Brighten up this. You'll see we have our custom plate by Andy. Thank you again to Andy for that. I'm going to cheat and press B to set the QNH while I'm here. We'll go for constraints, arc. Flight directors can be on. And we'll have constraints on both sides. It's pretty typical. Both pilots will use constraints for the departure. It's the most useful piece of information, really, as you can imagine. IRSs are aligning more than 7 minutes, but that's fine. And radio panel is on. Although I've got to do the old trick there we go, to power that one up. And we are looking like we're in pretty good state. So let's load in the route. Can't hear in-game sounds at all. Let me have a look at that for you. Ah, I see why. Yeah, okay. Right, I've turned it up, so you guys let me know how that works. If that's the right volume, we'll be changing that as we go through. Patrick made it. Excellent. Thanks for coming along. And from Newcastle. Well done. Yeah, sorry about the sound there, guys. I'm not sure when I know why I turned it off, because we were getting a don't sync warning on the last replay. There we go. Mark says, finally got my hands on the add-on to Airbus Officer Pack. Can't wait to set them up. Yeah, I've been trying to get hold of the add-on. Still working at it. This is the custom autopilot version of the A32NX. Indeed. Azar says, are we doing the return? No, not today. Not today. One sector out for 2 hours 20. Better. Excellent. Right. And let's go. Thank you again, Mark, for your very kind donation. So it's been a little while since we've been in here. So let's go to ATSU, AOC, init, and let's initialize it. And hopefully... Oh, why did it do that? I did it earlier, but it doesn't seem to save it. It does not seem to save it. Okay, that's fine. I should have done this even earlier. The problem is that changes a whole load of switches when you do that. So I'm going to just, for example, press press L. Sorry guys, they should all be off. O, P doesn't seem to do anything for me. T doesn't do anything. I doesn't do anything. There's a fueler has arrived. We'll do that in a second through fly-by-wire. S just changes the view. Good. I just have to press all the keys again to make sure that they haven't. I can undo what they've done. Right, let's load it in. No SimBrief user. Oh dear, why does this happen to me? I do remember this happening the last time, and I thought I checked everything very carefully. There we go. You guys fixed this for me last time we did this. Last chance. There we go. Off we go to Palma, LEPA. Excellent stuff. Mr. Chippy says, type it into Notepad, then paste into EFB. Saves it messing with the controls. Ah, good idea. Yeah, good ideas. Thanks, guys. Right, we'll click on the EFB so it's not pressing your keypad. Ah, there we go. That would have worked as well. Matt says, with 40k subs, maybe you'll now have enough weight to throw around over at Thrustmaster for an add-on. Yeah, who knows? It didn't work last time. we bought it last time. So there we go. Thank you very much, Flight477, for your $4.99 donation. Really kind. Thank you, Flight4. Flight4 says, hey, what's up? I've learned a lot from you and just wanted to say thanks. Really appreciate it, Flight4. Thank you for your very kind donation. Thanks for coming along today. And yeah, I hope you're doing very well in America. And thank you. Really, really appreciate it. It really helps towards the channel. I hope you're doing very well. Thanks very much. Right, there we go. We have our init A, and then we'll leave the rest. Good. So let's go data. I think this is slightly out of date now, but there we go. 24th. Yeah, went out of date yesterday. So I will see how this gets updated later. We can do our init request. Not sure what approach we'll do today yet. Wind still favors 2.5. There are two similar sits. Perfect. Yeah, so expecting the girly X-ray, but I'll check in a second. Version 266. That's us today to Palma, Costa X17, cruising not 230. We're going to go up to 350 initially with a step climb to 370. So we don't need to bother with step climbs now. It's not something you typically do on the ground unless you had some real planning concerns that you wanted to check it with. That's all aligning. That's all working out. Good stuff. Flight plan then. I know what you guys are talking about, so let me show you that. If I go to the charts, go back to Newcastle. Now, which one is more likely for them to give us today? That is the question. I think I've got Girly 1 Tango. What's the 3 X-ray? So we're going off 2.5, so 3 X-ray and then 1 Yankee. It will depend on this airspace here, you see, whether that's actually affecting it or not. So I'm going to say we're going to do the 3 X-ray. Looks quite nice, straight out, 180 knots and then round the bend and off we go. So that's my plan. Flying 2.5, Girly 3 X-ray, insert, That takes us through Gurley, Tilney, and then our route takes us all the way down past the south coast. There's Goodwood. Look at that, all the way to Palma. Secondary, not active yet. Radnav for that departure. I should have left it up there before I got rid of it off the screen. Anything useful you guys can see for us to tune? Looks like we've got a DME at Newcastle for that first turn. It's not really. It's just, this is essentially an RNAV departure, as you can see up here, and it says there RNAV. So tuning it is for my own amusement, but it's not too useful for this one. We're not tracking towards a VOR or anything, just to these waypoints, so I can't get too excited. Stopping at flight level 80 initially. So let's put that in. No air traffic to get clearance from here, so there we go. And I'll leave the rest auto-tuning. It would normally populate with some sort of, like the Newcastle NDB. Oh no, it prefers us to type in November Tango in the fly-by-wire. There we go, November Tango. Oh, seems to have eaten that. Oh, there it is. There it is, November Tango. Good. Why not have that NDB just in case we want to come straight back to the airport? Great. Matteo Chewy, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Matteo's been here right from the start. And in fact, I saw that Matteo on our early streams. A few names that I recognised from very early on. Obviously Richard and Matteo and Swappy S and plenty of others. But yeah. Custom download in the installer is a dead end, to be replaced with more custom soon. Slightly frustrating, but it is free. Yeah, it's free, so we will do that. We'll do that shortly. The A320 Microsoft Flight Simulator with the mod it's not as good as X-Plane ones yet, but it's making progress all the time, Right, I'm glad you like the tutorial for charts. Ollie, that yeah, tutorial on charts is now up on the channel finally after many full starts. Right, Radnav, time for init B. Oh, before we do this, let's go into ATSU, AOC, and then we'll go perf, weight and balance. I should have done this at the start. So required fuel for today is, it's actually 9.4 required. Yeah, block fuel 9.4. We had a few fuel issues last time, so I'm going to go 10.4, put it in there. Nope. Yep, there we go. With taxi and trip fuel, and we should underburn because we're in a Neo, but we did have a load of trouble. In fact, let's go 11 tons just because of last time. I think they fixed the fuel bug, but there we go. So let's load on the fuel. There it is. And then we'll go to next page, request 160 passengers, and I am happy with that. So we'll load that. Great stuff. And as soon as the fuel's on, you're going to check in the real airplane. You check it's gone into the right place. You can get some funny bugs where maybe it's not gone into the outer tank and it's just on the inner tank. And there's all sorts of things like that that could happen, which would give you an imbalance for takeoff. Now the plane would probably be fine, but it's not certified, so there are some things you can't do like that. Right. So that is time then to do the init B. It's so simple to set up this airplane now. There we go. There's the weights. Block fuel 11. Trip wind for this one is +6. TL6 gives us our tailwind, hopefully. There it is. 4.8 tons trip fuel gives us an arriving extra 4.3 tons. That seems a bit optimistic. Also note of Barcelona, which I'm actually going to increase because I think we need a bit more than that to go to Barcelona. It's actually 1.4, and I'm going to give myself a bit of buffer because Barcelona is a very busy airport and I don't want to arrive there with final reserve fuel only, so I'm going to put 1.8 in there just to give us a bit of extra room. And there we go, looking pretty good. Finally then, performance. I think for this one, let's do a flap 2 takeoff again. Strong headwind though, so you probably don't need it. Flap 2, flex 65, 130, 131, 135. Pretty reasonable. Standard thrust reduction acceleration of 1500 feet above the airport. Airport's about 200 feet up, so there it is. All looking good. Let's finish this then. Flight level 80, push that in. We'll set standard once we are up and away and in the climb, but for now we've got QNH 1009. And that is us good. So speeds are in. Climb nav 152, 8000 to become a flight level QNH 1009. Let's get some integral lighting on. Great stuff. So let's get the APU up and running. Love, 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 love this livery. And then we can get rid of that GPU. All these acronyms. FS30, good to see you. Mateo Chewy says, I couldn't miss the supersonic livery today. I remember the first stream in it. Yeah. So we flew this. Where did we fly this to? Was it... I did look at all these, but I can't remember where we took it. But yeah, not long ago it doesn't feel like long ago, we flew this in the Toliss 321. James Cooper says, trim sets. So that is a very good point. We will need to sort that one out. Yep. We'll do that after start though in this one, just the way it works. We would normally know from our load sheet, but in this one we can take it off the fuel prediction. Yep, fuel flow is fixed. Excellent stuff. British Airways 747, thanks for coming along. Kai says, yesterday I had the flaps issue in the fly-by-wire into LTAC and I stalled to 100 knots and crashed into a mountain. But magically I got back in the air and declared a mayday and buttered the landing. Very good. So yeah, hopefully we don't run into that one today. Fingers crossed. Akilish says, the OFP on EFB works now. I hope you had a chance to try it out. Let's have a look. So that's all in there. Dispatch. OFP. And here's the fuel. I thought fuel was available now, so you can adjust the fuel in here and load it on like that. I see, but current fuel 11 tons. So the outer tank should always be full, basically, with 690, and then the inner tanks have whatever you want. Center tank comes last, and that's the order you'd fill that up. So we've pretty much filled our inner tanks as well, which makes sense. OFP, not available, but I'm using the custom autopilot version. It sometimes lacks some of these things. Oh, hold on. No, I know why, because I haven't done from SimBrief. So let's do that. Excellent news. Dispatch, OFP, and now you can scroll. Look at this. They are really, really treating us nicely, aren't they? That's fantastic. And look at this, all our ground performance. So let's get rid of the fueler. APU, need to press start. That helps. Nav light should be on. Oh, I see. There's only one position. Yeah, the real airplane, there's two positions for that. Get some lighting on up there. Mateo says, Marrakesh to Lanzarote. There you go. Yeah, we used to do slightly shorter hops. So we were down in Africa and then we flew out to the Canaries. I remember leaping to the Canaries. And I remember I had a LEAP engine. I modified the livery for that one. Fantastic. Yeah, goodness me. It does feel like ages ago. And Harm says, can you explain how to choose the trip wind, where on SimBrief, and what are the formats to enter in the FMS? Okay, yeah, no worries. We could do that quickly. So now I can show you guys my SimBrief quite easily. There's our OFP. And you'll see it says, oh, it is a different format. Operational impacts. No, that's not it. No. Times weights. Let me see. Oof, it's hidden in here. It's a bit easier to see on yours. So there's the cost index. Average wind. Yeah, so where's the average wind component? +6. So the average wind component, P006, so that's +6. So the wind is giving us +6 knots, which means I know it's a tailwind because it's helping us. It's a plus. If it said M -6, then it would be a headwind. So because it says +6, I've gone to init B, and where it says trip wind, I put in TL6 plus, which is the same as +6. You can also type in plus by pressing that twice from minus to +6, and it should give you the same thing. In fact, it will give you the same thing because they've already added that. So there you go. Window seat says, hey, someone asked before about the first fire push button. If you can press it, you can push it back in. The answer, yes. If he's now to push and release the APU or engine fire button, he could just return it. Yeah, so these you can open and push in. I don't think they... Well, there you go. Window seats answered. Yeah, you can return them. These are reversible. Now, we don't ever reverse them in any procedures. So in real life, they wouldn't get reversed. APU's online. Let's go to the ground power. And go to our grounds, and goodbye ground power. Passengers are on, fuel's on. I think we're pretty much ready to go. Yeah, so there's nowhere for us to, in reality, we never have to try and restore that, because if you shut down an engine and use the fire push button, that means there was damage, so you won't try and relight it. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look around. Fantastic scenery, great texturing. So someone's pushed over there. Let me go to Unicom. If I can remember the frequency today. There we go. We'll see what's going on. You're welcome, Alham. And let me bring up the VPilot, just check. No. Okay, we are now on Unicom, which is good news. Flight 4 says, how do you hit MDA-DH? I'm not sure. We'll look in a sec. There's a few textured airplanes you can see, which are Orbex's scenery, like that Ryanair over there. Otherwise, these are just people flying along with us. The queue is already forming as everyone escapes ahead of me, which is always, as I say, the best idea.
Newcastle traffic, it's Mantra 320 Stone to CRJ, pushing back for...
Oh, we've got CRJ coming along. Excellent. Do you turn on the APU and APU bleed before loading passengers? Yeah, these days, because of COVID, yeah, you would. So let it warm up for a bit and then put on the APU bleed. However, you can, if you've got ventilation from outside, you'd do it later. And before COVID, we could do it whenever we needed it, really. If the cabin was warm, you wouldn't do it until it needed it. Or if it was cold, you wouldn't do it until it needed it. You know, it's one of those things. So, MDA-DA, something we'll look at in flight. Has it changed? Oh, I see. They've got, oh, wow. Oh, goodness me. They're getting really fancy with what's in here. This looks more like the 321 pages, actually. But there we go. We'll talk about that when we go. Something that's worth checking is we have a speed limit on that departure. 180 knots at the first thing. First waypoint. So what I'm going to do is pre-select 180. So the airplane should, at acceleration, instead of converting to 250, it should go to 180 knots. So we're going to leave the flaps out at flaps 1. Because our clean speed is 223. Right, checklist then. Before start checklist is cockpit prep is completed for both sides. Gear pins and covers removed. Signs are on and auto. ADs are in nav. Fuel quantity is 11 tons. Oh, I've obviously done that wrong. 11 tons and balanced. All looking good. Takeoff data is set.
Are you still with us? You've been stationary for quite a
while. BARF is a 1009. Windows and doors are closed.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having a couple of problems. I'll
beacon on.
To get 12 Tomjet 87 Golf.
And thrust levers are
Tomjet
idle.
87 Golf. Thanks for that. I'll push back in a minute.
Parking brake is set. Great stuff. Let me get at the pushback helper, and then we'll be pretty much ready to go. We're not on multiplayer, we are on VATSIM. So mods.
Does anyone also know how to turn off the A320 takeoff config alarm? Because it's not turning off for me, and it's really annoying.
You need to press clear. Press clear on the ECAM control underneath the status displays. So where you've got engine bleed pressure, that you should press clear. Hopefully that helps them.
Thank you so much. You have solved all my problems. Tomjet 87 Golf.
No problem. Yeah, funnily enough, the real airplane isn't quite like that. But there we go. Right. I have got pushback helper ready to go. So, with... Oh no, what am I doing? We're not using pushback helper, are we? We're doing it the fly-by-wire way. So we'll go ground. Cool tug.
Newcastle traffic, easy 3-2 Mike, pushing back from stand 7 onto Alpha.
Newcastle traffic version 266 pushing back from stand 6 onto Alpha. But that should be fine. We just need this one over here to go, actually. Who's behind us here? That's the question. Let me do a bit of that map. This is good though. We're pushing back half an hour after starting.
Last station, do you want me to wait for you to depart from before pushing back? Easy 3-2 Mike.
Let me check the charts. We're pushing back from stand 6. We're going to push onto... we can push straight up onto Alpha actually. So our tail goes into Alpha and that should leave you clear from stand 7.
Thank you very much. That's great. Thanks, easy 3-2
Yeah,
Mike.
I think we'll go straight back. We're just carving in front of this person.
Alpha pushing back from stand 11.
There we go. Everyone's on the way. Right, the tag is here. So let us get rid of the fuel page and check that APU is definitely on. Bleed is on. Okay. Time to go. That's a stop pushback. I think I need to go to release that. Then we go there and away we go. They're waiting for us, it looks like. So we're just going to go straight back and that's going to help us out. Let's start the clock. So many features working now on here. It's fantastic. So to keep you guys in with the plan, we're going to push back and I'm going to try and get my tail up into there and then we're out of the way. No one's departing from that runway because they're departing from 25. However, very hard to do in this mode. Alicia's Maggie, thank you so much for your $5 donation. I hope you're doing well. Alicia says, thank you for the streams as always. Much love from Chicago to Iran. Wishing you a great flight. Thank you so much, Alicia's Maggie. That's really, really appreciated. I hope you're doing very well and thank you for being so generous with the channel. Yeah, it's very kind of you. And yeah, thank you very much. Oh, we're going to make this. This will be fine. Excellent news. Excellent news. As long as we don't go too far, our tail will be safe. And then this person can taxi out in front of us. Unicorn 1228. Perfect. These other players are in the same session. They're actually on VATSIM, the people you can see around. Thank you again, Alicia's Maggie, for your donation. Really, really appreciate it. Perfect. Oh, look at this. I told you, we're getting good at self-control.
Newcastle traffic, NX247 lining up from
Pixel, good to see you.
via Delta 2 behind, departing traffic. And
so as long as my tail doesn't cross that runway ahead line, we'll be fine. So I'm going to get behind this line. I don't know if they would really do this in Newcastle. Possibly. Ollie says, sorry, I'm the one on the taxiway, I think. No problem at all. No, we've made it work. Checkpoint says, remember popping out the screen to the fly pad, easy steering. Yes, good point. Yeah, that would have made life easier. Oh, well. I've missed my chance now. But yeah, great point. Right, I think we're past that line. Pushback can stop. It does its bit of it's a free wheel. Let's set the parking brake. And we are going to start up the engines. So starting engine number 2. Now, Boris has worked very hard on putting some new sounds. He did message me. I'm meaning to answer, actually. But there we go. Let's start number 2. So start the clock. On it goes. Time is running. I'm going to turn up the sim sounds and hopefully you can hear them.
And Newcastle traffic, easy 32 Mike, taxiing Delta 1 via Alpha and Delta.
Fantastic stuff as ever. Back in the flight deck, that one started up. Do we have an available message yet? Let's see if that works. Nose wheel steering goes amber, as it would in the real aircraft, because we've got an engine running and it thinks we've got the nose wheel steering disconnected. There's available, so this is working fantastically. Let's get engine number 1 started. That goes on. And on it goes. Thank you very much, Simon Schmidt, for your €5 donation. Thank you, Simon. Simon says, have a safe flight, Captain. You can use right alt to pop out the EFB so you can use the fly-by-wire pushback helper from outside. Thanks for another stream. Thanks, Simon. Great point. Yeah, I'll definitely do it next time. Thanks to Checkpoint as well for pointing that one out. But thank you very much for your €5 donation. Really appreciate it. Very kind. And I hope you're doing very well, Simon. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Let me jump into a fixed camera position now for the flight. We're going to have one of these views. Thank you, Simon, for your donation. Really, really kind. Oh, and thank you, Pol9, for your €20 donation. Very kind again. Pol9's been supporting the channel far too much as well. Pol9 says, have a nice flight. Again, viewers, have a nice meal. Yeah, we've got some. So you'd have been served on Virgin Sun, you'd have been served a pre-flight cocktail or non-alcoholic cocktail as you boarded. It's going for that fun look. There's a colleague departing ahead of us. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. Mike is weird. That's an interesting one. Let me see why that could be. Or is it working out? Do let me know. But yeah, thank you very much, Pol9, for your €20 donation. Really appreciate it. And thank you so much for coming along and supporting us yet again. Right. Available. Go back to norm. Start the timer to warm up those engines. Don't need the APU for this departure, so that's going. Arm the ground spoilers. Reset the rudder trim. Flaps to 2. That should be an auto. And the CG, we cheat. We go, gross weight CG is showing up as 29.2. So I'm going to set this to that. Yeah, not quite how it works in the real setup, but there we go. 29.2 somewhere there. Pretty central anyway. Just going to brighten up the PFD so we can actually see it for takeoff. We're going to bring up terrain on my side, I think. Would have waved off the ground crew. Very important we get that wave. And it is time we get going. Good news. So let's get the runway turn-offs and the taxi lights on. After that checklist, anti-ice is off. Ecam status checked. Pitch trim is 29.2. Rudder trim is 0. Let's go. Noah Chirico, thank you so much, Noah, for your $5 donation. Really appreciate it. Oh, Very good spot. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I was saying about the wave, but actually in most after start checklists, it includes the nose wheel steering disconnect is not being there for this exact reason. So goodbye, Tug. Excellent. Yeah, because firstly, you wouldn't be able to steer, and secondly, it probably means there's someone down there. Noah, thank you for your $5 donation. Really appreciate it, Noah. Noah says, glad you checked that the weather radar was off before everything else. Those ground crew might want children. yeah. It's such a tiny little switch. Again, this is, I've said it many times, an old radar system that you wouldn't see. But funnily enough, the new one uses the same sort of metallic tiny rocker switches for its weather, or it's turning on and off as well. But thank you for your donation. Really appreciate it, Noah. Thank you again to Pol9. Dr. Darren Nahu says, can we have a Dutch roll at 30,000 feet for that extra holiday feeling excitement? Yeah, we'll see. Off goes the Tug. So now we'd get the wave, which makes us feel a lot more comfortable. Yeah, I'm so used to it in the simulator because a better pushback just disappears after you set the brake. It's a terrible habit. Yeah, so there we go. Like I said, normal airline checklists, or lots of ones I've seen, certainly make sure you check that message is gone and that you've seen the ground crew usually. Because they would all, of course, every flight you wave to them individually. They don't wander off or anything like that. You have to get a confirmation from them, and they have to see it from you. But thank you again, Noah, for your donation. Thank you to Joshua E for your $5 donation. Really kind. Joshua says, have a great flight. Easily the most knowledgeable, friendly flight simmer out there. Thanks for the amazing content. That's really kind, Joshua. I feel terrible reading that out, but thank you so much for your $5 donation. Really kind. I'm very humbled and glad you enjoy the channel. Let's get ourselves taxiing. So version 266 Newcastle traffic, taxiing via Alpha and Delta to holding point 25. I think it's Delta. Let me just check that one. Alpha and Delta. Yes, it is. Good. I got it right for once. So thank you, Joshua, for your donation. Really appreciate it. And thank you to I Under Law. Let me brakes off. Lights are on. And let's get ourselves underway. I Under Law for £5 donation. Thank you. I hope you're doing well in the UK, as I am. And thank you very much. Under Law says, is this on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 multiplayer or another service? This is on VATSIM. Free service. You just got to sign up to it. Really great. But yeah, this is on VATSIM. So thank you very much for your donation. Really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy the stream. Yeah, we are flying to somewhere sunny. Exactly. Got to enjoy our time. So it looks like we're the last ones out, which is good. Strong headwind for takeoff. I'm pretty sure there aren't two windsocks. This could be, maybe I have some other scenery in the way. And we're going to take Alpha and then Delta. Looks like some controllers have arrived. We've got tower 1197. Oh, because I didn't transmit on. Let me come to a stop here. Now, with the brakes, you'd never do that aggressively in real life. That's just the way the sim isn't quite handy for that.
Good evening. Thomas Cook 86 Tango Juliet on
Michael Yates, thank you very much for your $10 donation, Michael. Really kind. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well, Michael. And thank you. That's really generous. You guys are being far too generous. What a start to the stream. Thank you all so much. Really kind. And thank you, Michael. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoy the flight. I can't see a message there, but if Michael does send a message to you, let me know.
Easy 32 Mike 26 correction 25 surface winds 210.
So we better wait here until tower clears us. Otherwise, I love having a shadow like this where you can see your aeroplane.
86 Tango Juliet.
Look at that, see your own rudder.
Early 3 extra departure, score 5-2.
We might have to sit here for a second until they give us our clearance. Still plenty of people to go actually.
86 Tango Juliet, repack correct.
Tomjet 7 Golf, ready to taxi.
Engines are warm.
Tomjet 87 Golf, sorry about the wait. Taxi Delta, hold Delta 1, runway 25.
So it's my fault, you see. I must have missed this. Everyone else got it.
Sorry, I just didn't know if you'd heard me before. Tomjet 7 Golf.
No, it was just because they had an aircraft to your left.
Newcastle Tower version 266 on Alpha 320 NEO QNH 1009 request clearance Palma.
Version 266, many thanks to clearance Palma, Gurley to extra departure, squawk 3532.
Cleared to Palma, Gurley 3 X-ray, squawk 3532, version 266, thank you.
Version 266, feedback is correct, call for taxi.
Wilco, version 266. Let's do the squawk.
Newcastle Tower, Mantra 320, clearance please to Palma.
35, very nice controller as ever. Squawk 3532 is in, so yeah, the radio panel does work with this. Gurley 3 X-ray. Let's just check that's what we have in here. It would normally actually say here, but I can see Girly 3 X-ray in there as well. Thank you, DJ Junior, for your 99-cent donation. Really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, DJ Junior. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the stream.
The Girly 1 X-ray departure, squawk 333.
Tango Delta says, I always fall back into comfort of the Toliss X-Plane 11, but with fly-by-wire mod at this level and the visuals of Microsoft Flight Simulator, the balance is starting to shift. It's yeah, we'll talk about that on the way. Version 266, request taxi.
Version 266, many thanks, taxi Alpha Delta, hold Delta 1, runway 25.
Alpha Delta, hold Delta 125, version 266.
Version 90, follow the company, Alpha Delta,
There we go. Oh, it's the other version behind us. Fantastic. It's a shame the livery doesn't show up, because I know sometimes it does when you have custom liveries. But anyway, away we go. Mark says, is there any way to see your ground speed while taxiing? Always nervous to go overspeed on VATSIM. You'd have to work pretty hard to go overspeed. It would feel fast, but yeah, it's down here. So navigation display, top left, GS is your ground speed. And that will always be there as long as your IRSs are working.
Clear for takeoff, runway 25, Alpaca 2 Whiskey Alpha. Thanks for the ATC.
In this sort of area, 10 to 15 knots, 10 knots for tighter turns, 30 knots when you're in a straight line. Busy airport here, fantastic Orbex scenery. Again, they did provide it very kindly, but yeah, they do have some great stuff here. So 13 knots, you see, if this was wet, 13 knots would be a bit of a stretch around this turn. But on this one, this taxiway actually is really long, and the aeroplane will slowly, I love that shadow as it whizzes behind you, glorious. Yeah, the airplane will slowly accelerate. There we go.
3372,
Keep it going. Right, let's do our flight controls. Full left, full right, neutral, full down. There's our colleague departing. Full up, neutral, and we'll just do a little bit of full left, full right, neutral. It does run out of energy when you do that. Now the real aircraft, the rudder pedals can't turn the nose wheel that much, even that, like that's already too much, but we can also disconnect them. Mo S, thank you for your $10 donation. Thank you, Mo, really appreciate it. Mo says, have a wonderful flight. Thank you for all that you do for our community. Love your content. Really kind, Mo. Thank you for your donation. Thanks for coming along today, and yeah, I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing very well. John Padfield says, I hear an alpaca. Yeah, absolutely, there's an alpaca out there. Yeah, thank you, Mo, really kind, and thanks for coming along today. I hope you enjoy the flight.
Newcastle Tower, Chanex 105, Mike.
Giuseppe says the balance has shifted for a while. There we go.
Chanex 105, Mike, many thanks. Charlie is correct. Clearance Palma, Girly.
We'll talk about that as we go. I've got loads of great airliners in X-Plane I'm still desperate to use. So yeah, there's no way I'll be swapping all to one or the other. But this mod has just come so far recently, and it's also full of great features that make life really easy, even if they're slightly unrealistic, like the way you can get the performance figures straight into there. But you know, it just helps, I suppose. Anyway, we'll get the radar on because there are some bigger clouds out there. Transponders to CARA. Auto brake to max. This here is where the fire engines can come out of their bay. All done properly. Thank you again, Mo, for your donation. Really appreciate it. Oof, bit of lag there. And there's a typical fire set up to practice. You can see the tail engine in case a DC-10 comes in. I wonder if they'll get rid of those now. I don't remember the last time I saw one of those. Yeah, the haze, the lighting, glorious. Look at those spoilers. There are some things like I think the flight controls work even when the engines are off still, little things like that. It just seems to be a source development kit thing, but either way. Michael Yates has been a long time viewer, have learned a lot, keep up the good work. Thank you, Michael, really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing very well, thank you. Okay, so we are at 23 knots ground speed. You'll see that feels quite fast, but yeah, it's no problem doing 23 knots. No problem at all. How's our flight plan? We did lose our flight plan a few times recently, didn't we? Seems to be okay. So before takeoff jet lists, we've done our flight control, flight instruments, our briefing. Go to plan.
22.8, Thomas Cook, Gate Tango Juliet, thanks a lot, bye.
We can see here, we're going to go out, make our left turn, then our left turn, stopping at flight level 80 on that departure. We're going to keep our flaps out for that first turn, 180 knots, which I've got pre-selected. Briefing is confirmed then. Flap setting config 2 green, config 2 in here. F-main takeoff data, we've got 130, 135 climb nav blue, 152, 8000 blue, and they've got rid of the... It was at one point saying brake max armed, but that's a 321 NEO thing I haven't seen on 320 NEO, so I wonder if they've got rid of it now. Because I'm sure it used to say that sometimes. We shall see. And that's not to say there aren't any 320 NEOs that are allowed to have it. Maybe they do. Maybe it could be updated. I just haven't seen it. Anyway, that is our FMA's transponder is set. Eco memo. Take off no blue. Just got to do the cabin crew.
Data 1, runway 25, Iberia 128.
Tomcat 87.
Hope you guys can hear the audio.
Golf, runway 25, surface wind 210 degrees, 1.
No, I don't want to go over that line.
1 knots, clearance, repression, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, Tomcat 87 Golf.
So that we know is safe.
266, behind the departing Tomcat A320, 26 left, impression 25, line up and wait behind.
Behind departing Tomcat 320, runway 25, line up and wait behind, version 266. Right, they're going. Brakes released, get those lights on. All the way, and we'll have the takeoff on the nose wheel light. Thank you. Get a bit of power on. It does take a bit of power to spool up. Not an issue today. There's not really anyone on approach, but there we go. Right below the line cabin is secured. Engine mode selector can be in normal. TCAS is TR. Packs are both on. Let's go. The custom autopilot is not the same as the custom fly-by-wire yet, but they are being merged, I believe, or they'll be on the installer together soon. So yeah. Yeah, we're at the back of the gang, although I can see a few more coming. Excellent.
Tomcat 87 Golf, no 3 to see Unicorn, bye-bye.
122.8 for Tomcat 87 Golf, thanks very much, goodbye.
Lovely. Sun in your eyes is not so good for takeoff. This is where you'd definitely, in this case, put your sun visor down, ready to go. Because as soon as you rotate, even if the sun's not in your eyes now, it will be as we rotate up into the sky. Perfect. Now, I don't think that line should be dashed at this point. Let me just check. Should be engaged. First waypoint is in front of us. Yeah, okay, it seems to be correct. We shall see what happens. Bazante, good to see you. My home airport. Very good. Yeah. We did come here on X-Plane just the other day, so you can see an approach on the stream before this if you're interested. The ground traffic is VATSIM, other players who are flying along with us today.
26625, surface winds 210 degrees, 11, gust 21 knots, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 25, version 266. Fantastic news. A bit breezy, but pretty much a headwind, so that's no problem. Let's start the clock. 50% on the N1. We're doing a flex takeoff today. Strong headwind from the left. Release the brakes, 2 clicks forward, obviously half side stick down. Hasn't taken off. Oh, it's just about doing it. There we go. Man flex 65 SRS. Auto thrust is blue. That's a bit of sensitivity in my throttles, I think. If it did that in real life, you'd go to a toga. Don't worry about it. 80 to 100 knots then. Stick to neutral. Still too much grip on that nose wheel, which is a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing, sadly. V1 rotate. Rotating, holding the pitch, get the nose wheel up and let it weathercock into winds. Positive climb, gear up, and we're in nav, and away we go. It's amazing. There's so many things that you train for on takeoff, but then when they go well, or when they go normally, I should say, they just happen so quickly, and that's it. It's all over. So we have nav, so I'm hoping it will do the turn as we hope it should. And away we go. Traffic coming out behind us. Autopilot 1. Unicorn 1228, and thank you very much for controlling us, version 266. Bye-bye.
No worries, bye-bye.
That's great. It's so nice to have a controller come along. Right, there's our acceleration. Climb. Now you can see it's gone to 250. I did pre-select 180, but that hasn't quite worked. But no problem. Leave us back to climb. We're already now passing the 180 knot point, so it doesn't actually matter. We're not going to need to worry about that. Above F, let's go to flaps 1. Climbing up to a flight level, so let's set standards on both sides. So now we're going out with flight level 80. It did turn, so nav seems to be working, but it should be a solid line, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Lateral nav being worked and worked and worked on all the time. Can I do the flaps from the inside? Let's find out. Flaps to 0. In they come. Bit of stutter there, but that does go away. It's a flight simulator seems to have its moments. Glorious. These will be some very happy passengers. They've had their cocktail when they boarded, and now they are well underway. We're going to go to Unicom, and we're climbing up to initially flight level 35, was it? 35? 350. We got standards. After takeoff checklist. Well, actually, let's not forget it. Flaps to 0. Disarm those. Get the nose wheel lights off. That's the procedure. That's a little flow. So after takeoff checklist, landing it up. Flaps retracted. Packs on. Barref standards. Off we go. Fantastic. You set standard. You can set standard as soon as you're cleared to a flight level, Tim. So we could do it. In theory, you could do it on the ground, but that would be a bit daft. So what we do is we take off, get through acceleration, do the important bits like get the flaps up and then set standard. If you do it too early, let's say you... Actually, in the Airbus, you don't want to do it on the ground because you're going to pass through your acceleration altitude and so on, and you want to know when you're doing that. So just sometime after you've accelerated is the good point to do it. Just something sensible. But as soon as you're cleared to one, in theory, that's when you're going to set it. So it's not specific to an altitude. Yeah, the lighting is pretty good. It is pretty good. The dash line, says Andrea, is a bug with the latest custom autopilot. Should be fixed soon. There you go. They're just working and working. I've got full confidence that pretty much everything we see, if we're concerned about it, they tend to fix it within a day. There's updates all the time for this. Just love this livery. Really good. Great fun to have it in the air again. See if we can scoot through these clouds. Right, temperature is definitely low enough, so we're going to have the engine anti-ice on. That ground control switch, that once the engines are running, that will turn off, or it won't be lit. Sorry. The reason it's showing up as blue, it's not a pressed switch. It actually, you press it and it comes on. It doesn't stay in, as if I recall properly. It's sort of it would click in and out. So what happens is, we're going to get all the Flight Simulator ice joy. So let's put on the wing anti-ice. It wants mode select to ignition as well. Very rare. Again, having ice detection is not a common thing in the Airbus. It's an expensive feature. Now we're above it. How much has that ruined our plane? Too much. We don't put up with this anymore. Goodbye. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But look at that view. Lovely. We're on VATSIM, so we're not on the server for this one. Airbus Pro says, hello, I joined your Discord and subscribed. Continue these great videos. You're welcome, Airbus Pro. Thanks for coming along and thanks for subscribing. Look at those clouds. Unreal. It's so good. Brianna, good to see you. I did get your message, Brenny, and I will reply to you soon. But thank you so much for coming along. I hope you're doing well with your packing. Yeah, thank you for coming along. Flying Iron Film says, AC445 told me I should ask this here. Is Manta based on a real airline? I found a Manta Air based in the Maldives online. Yeah, we're not based on a real airline. We became Manta Airlines. That was the first livery I did before we were aware. So no, we're nothing to do with Manta Airlines in real life. No. Nav logo and wing lights off, I guess. I just saw you while you switched on the landing lights. Let me just check that. Nope. So Airbus lights go the opposite direction. We can get rid of these now and we'll go back to normal ignition. It's confusing. They're the only ones that seem to do it, but for Airbus, backwards is on. Yeah, so landing lights are on, strobe and nav lights are... Oh, there. No, you're right. Nav lights are off. Yeah, good spot. Why did I do that? The switch does confuse me just because it should be in one, really. That's the 2 position, but either way, that's my fault. Very good spot. Very good spot as always. Right, we're up through 10,000 feet. So anyway, these landing lights would go off, off. Strobe lights are definitely on. Nav lights on. Yep, good. Which I fiddled now. Turn off the seatbelts. Let the party begin in the back. There's a colleague. Are we outpacing a colleague down there? I can see green and red. So they are flying away from us. Now, that's not a usual situation. In fact, I can just see green. The red is the strobe. So I can just see their right wing. Not entirely sure where they're going. Yeah, I was going to say, you shouldn't be able to see their nav lights from behind. You should just see the white tail light. See our fuel flow reducing now as we climb, even though we're at climb thrust, much more accurate. John Padfield says, how did you get the custom autopilot version if it's not the same as the custom fly-by-wire? That's because it's available in the Discord. If you go, there's pinned messages in their autopilot section. But don't worry, I wouldn't bother with that, guys. I do it just because I like to see the new features, but I believe it's coming to the installer soon, and then it will be like the custom fly-by-wire, and it will be a no-brainer, really. That will be the version to go for. Very unstable. I probably shouldn't use it for streaming, but I can't resist it. It's really good. Jetpack Away says, yeah, it's me. You're outpacing because you started climbing before Gurley. Yeah, very rare to have to stay down at 8-0, but there you go. Ollie says, sadly had to leave. Is there a way to join in halfway through? We're in VATSIM. You can, I sometimes reconnect, as long as you're somewhere quiet and away from, anywhere busy, and you reconnect and file a flight plan. I've done that, but yeah. Alex, I agree. Yeah, version Sun, a blast from the past. Mike V did this livery on the... Look at those clouds. I can't believe it. It's so good, the graphics on this. It's ridiculous. They seem to have sorted out the graininess as well. They definitely have improved for me. Hello, Van der Veen. Good to see you. They say, does it still zigzag to get on the nav line? It did a little bit there, but not much. Not much. I haven't flown it in a little while. We have the CRJ. We've had lots of videos. We've done a charts video for three times over. Oh, unreal. This mod is so good. By the way, guys, they've also got rid of the mint green line in here, the tooth-based line that's only on the Pratt & Whitney engines, not the LEAP CFM engines. So that's been modded to be much better. Azar says, how do you get the wing views? These are included now with the mod, as long as you have the right version. So it's just one of these external views. You go to showcase. There's free camera for the drone or fixed camera. And I have a button for toggling the fixed camera. Warrior Lad says, clouds look good, but there are too many. The real weather is wrong. Ah, well, yeah, I've seen apparently Rex do quite a good one. I haven't tried it yet. G90, good to see you again. G90 says graphics are almost better than real life. Yeah, it is like that. It's ridiculous. That is outrageous. Right. Oh, I really miss flying now. I'd love to get up in the cruise and just do one of these flights where you're taking people on holiday. It's such a joy. But there we go. Right, all looking good. Got our new Eco coffee cups. Nice slurp of coffee. Looks like it's a bit clearer to the south, which is what our passengers will be happy to see. Sian says, Rex is great, definitely worth it. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Mark says, one dislike, must be a Boeing fan. Yeah, if you are watching and enjoying, do please hit the like button. It makes a big difference to the channel, and I really appreciate it. There's our colleague that we're outpacing down there. Yeah, if you do hit the like button, it makes a big difference to the channel, so it would be really, really appreciated. Thank you. And yeah, if we've done so well as to pass 40,000, so I shouldn't be asking you guys for any more, but thank you all for coming along again anyway today. And we will be streaming long haul very soon, very soon. One person dislikes the clouds. Yeah. Thank you all for the likes. I can see them arriving. Thank you. Flying Iron Film says Rex is good, but they're still working on their server move and it's kind of unreliable, up to a couple of hours behind. Or data not right. Oh, well, that's a bit of a shame. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, £5,000 fine for going on holiday. That's a UK rule that could be coming in, yeah. Dana says, do you pay much attention to the environmental impacts of flying as a pilot? Yeah, so we do everything we can to be as efficient as possible, because that's something we can control. So here we go, Gasco. Let's see what it does. Gasco to Ribble. Funny enough, this sort of stuttering, it's possibly an instrument refresh. But anyway, yeah, we'll try and get as many shortcuts. We go at the lower cost NX, as long as the schedule's okay for it. You'll get to the optimum flight level, all the things you can do to save fuel, and hopefully we'll see some sort of more experimental or environmentally friendly fuels become available for commercial traffic. Rake It, thank you very much for a £5 donation. Thank you, Rake It. Really appreciate it. Ray says, I used to be a fueler at London Southend. Shame they got rid of EasyJet and Ryanair. Always loved the Airbus. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Rake It, for your donation. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you're doing very well. Thank you for coming along to the stream today. And yeah, it's I've even before I flew the Airbus, I always enjoyed seeing it around. I just think it looks really, really nice. So here's a bit of hunting as it hunts for that LNAV line. So yeah, it's not perfect yet. They're still working on it. Doesn't seem as bad as it once did though. If it does this one and then that's it, then it's definitely improved. But yeah, thank you, Rake It, for your £5 donation. I hope you're doing well, whatever you're doing now with life. But thank you so much. Very kind. Thank you for all those likes that have come in. Really appreciate it. Yeah, 500 viewers. So really kind of you guys. Charlie says, do you think the fly-by-wire A32NX will ever reach FS Labs 320 in terms of systems depth? Yeah, I don't see why it couldn't. I really don't anymore, because as we've seen, the stuff they can do is ridiculous and really remarkable. So there's some features like the A-cars and so on working so well that really, really are impressive and easily make me expect it to be possible. There you go. That's something we didn't do that I normally do on streams. Should have got the weather as we left, just because I'd already looked and grabbed the QNH, but really we'd of course printed it out and I could have shown you guys. So of course the ATIS would only have worked while that controller was there. I wonder if they're still there, just to have it printed out for old time's sake. Bersergrek says, I did my first VATSIM flight for the other day. I was so nervous and even stumbled in some kind of events, but with the charts ready and a pen and paper, everything went well. Really awesome. Yeah, it's a great feeling. So well done, and thanks for coming along to say so that you did that, because there's loads of people who'd love to do it. There you go. They must have gone already. But yeah, it's great, isn't it? That satisfying feeling of starting out on VATSIM. Victor Tango says, I think Airbus is experimenting with fully electric engines. There you go. That would be quite something, wouldn't it? Brianni says, you didn't know what the perks would be for paid parts of your channel. How about we save up so you can fly us nowhere, just being our pilot? Yeah, that would be quite something, wouldn't it? Imagine. We have talked a few times how great it would be if we could get an Airbus and just go on a passenger flight around. The dreams, eh? If only we were all millionaires. Marco says, do you have a stable FPS when landing with the A320? To be honest, my FPS in Microsoft Flight Simulator aren't ever stable. They do go up and down a bit. Yeah, a little bit of line hunting. But it does seem to come back a bit better now, I think, if it does one more turn. But yeah, no, my FPS, I used to use VSync and lock it to 30 frames a second, but now that doesn't work. Microsoft seems to have broken that. So we talked a few times about overriding that with NVIDIA and so on. But even then, since the last World update, I've had... There you go. Yeah, so it's pretty good. The LNAV's definitely improved. There's a level offline as well. Pretty good. But yeah, I do see those occasional moments of sort of a couple of minutes where it's down in the 10 frames a second and then it comes back to life. Not sure what was going on just since the last World update. Victor Tango says, we could 3D print an A320. How hard could it be? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, must be possible. Mark says, that would be the 1 million subscriber special event. Yeah, exactly. If we reach that size, we'd be able to rent one probably. Mo says, some tips I can offer for VATSIM. Oh, there you go. Mo's got some tips for those people. About having notes around, yeah. Put it in the notes when you file the flight plan to let the controllers know. There's a good idea. Yeah, see? Excellent one, Mo. Yeah, Simon says, I've been using VATSIM for years and still use pen and paper, memory like a fish. Oh yeah, I use pen and paper. And when I was flying without the Airbus, when I didn't have the scratch pad available, not all airplanes have this system where you just type it in, but in the real aircrafts, I'll just type it in. There we go. Baxter said, don't need to be a millionaire. I worked out about £300 each charters you and Airbus. Is that £300 for how many people? I suppose that would be a plane full of people. Yeah. Flying on films. Yeah, this flight path is a bug with the current version. They've done a great job. They've clearly improved the tracking because it's not wobbling around like it used to, but it seems that it currently has this dash line effect, which will change. Landing Gear says, is there a specific reason that the seatbelt sign has to stay on under 10,000 feet? There's no reason it has to stay on below 10. Below 10,000 feet, obviously, you're maneuvering more and you are potentially flying through weather more, and you're probably busy because you're taking off or arriving. So that's usually why. The reason you do it 10,000 in the descent is just so that your passengers can have so the cabin crew have a chance to secure the cabin. It's usually 10,000 feet tends to be about 10 minutes before landing, roughly. Now, if you're going to go down to 8,000 feet and sit in the hold for 10 minutes, then you'll leave the seatbelt signs off, because in the hold there's no point in having them on, is there? So it varies. But there's no actual law or anything like that. No. Kadeko says, Vietnamese world time. I've already had a muffin today. Don't tell Brianni. Mr. Espresso says, as much as I love the Toliss, I truly enjoy the scenery and weather of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, the Toliss is just an excellent product. And the other thing with the Toliss is it can fly everything. We can do our RNAVs, and we can fly auto lands and crosswinds. Like we did our crosswind landing into Newcastle, and the reason it did so well, or sorry, not that we did so well, but the reason it worked out as we hoped was because the Toliss behaves like it should. It's just exactly as I'd expect it to be. So that's really great. But the graphics here are just insane. Thank you so much, Dominic, for your 25 zloty donation. Really appreciate it, Dominic. Thank you. Dominic says, keep up marvellous job, Cat. Why clicking timer for different phases? That is a great question. Thank you so much, Dominic, for your donation. Really appreciate it. So the reason for the timer is on takeoff, we time the engines. They can only run at takeoff thrust for a maximum of 5 minutes. If we have an engine failure, they can run at takeoff thrust, or the remaining engine can run at takeoff thrust for 10 minutes. So we're timing for that 5 minutes. We rarely exceed it, but it's just in case something happens and we get distracted, something like that. On engine start, we time it so that we time how long the start's been going. It gives us a good situational awareness as to whether the start has gone wrong, but also it allows us to check how long the starter motor's been engaged for, because there are some cooldown times we may have to apply. After engine start, when they're both started, we run the timer to check the engines have warmed up. So they need their Neo engines don't actually need the. No, I'm getting a bit technical here, but anyway, there's usually an engine warm up time of some variety. In general aviation airplanes, you will taxi out, and as you're taxiing out, you'll run up the engine to warm it up and check everything. But we don't do that in airliners. The difference in airliners is we just need to run them for a certain amount of time before we take off. So that's what we're doing there. So if the engines were cold, like we were with the airplane, they've been parked on the ground for a while, we'll run them for 5 minutes to warm up. So hopefully that answers your question. Raykit, thank you very much for your £10 donation. Really appreciate it, Raykit. Raykit says, ladies and gentlemen, announcement. Hitting that like button pushes the stream out to the recommendation. Smash it. Roll on 400. Thank you so much, Raykit, for your £10 donation. Really appreciate it. Yeah, the like button makes a big difference to the channel. So if you are watching and enjoying, do please do hit it if you are enjoying the video. And if you aren't, you don't have to, of course. But yeah, really appreciate it. It would be amazing. I suppose if we reached 400 likes today for 40,000, that would be pretty good going, wouldn't it? Got to have these targets in our mind. Why not? But thank you very much, Raykit, for your £10 donation and support. Thanks for coming along today as well. James Cooper, thank you for your £5 donation. Very kind, James. James supports the channel a lot over the months as well. Thank you, James. James says, is it a rule nowadays due to security that there's no visits to the flight deck at all, or does it depend on the crew even before flight? So it will depend on the crew. There's no visits in flight at all, Mac Star, but it will depend on the crew. But typically after the flight is the easiest time to see passengers, because whilst other passengers are still getting off, there should be some time. There's our out cruise, so we are now leveling the cruise. Let's put that TCAS to look beneath us, or leave it on all, but I'll put it to beneath us, and we'll run a systems check. Does the all button work? Yes, it does. Excellent. There's the packs. Pressurization is still a placeholder, it looks like. So see, electric's now working, batteries discharge and charge, which is great news. Hydraulic's not there, fuel's looking good, APU's off. Conditioning is, no, conditioning's working. Can we change the temperatures? I can't remember what last time I checked this. And they've done a great job. Let's have the cockpit a bit warmer, cabin a bit cooler for everyone trying to party. See what happens. Yeah, look, hotter there, 25-degree air. This is the air going in. This is the temperature in that space. Doors looking good. Wheel looking good. Flight controls looking good. Fuel check. Fuel used. Fuel used isn't running at the moment. That's interesting. But it is burning. So 9, 10, 11. We burnt 2 tons to the top of climb in about 40 minutes since we pushed back. Yeah, that's not too bad. I expect it to be about 3 tons for the first hour, 2 tons an hour after that. So pretty good. But yeah, thank you very much for your very kind donation, Raykit. And thank you, Josh. But yeah, so Josh, after the flight is the time when... sorry, James. After the flight is the time when you can expect the most chance to get yourself a visit. But it does depend on the crew. Just ask politely. Right, sorry about that, guys. Just something I had to sort out very suddenly, but yeah. Now, what have I missed? I feel like I've definitely missed something. Dave N, thank you for your $30.72 donation. Thank you, Dave. Dave says, thanks for sharing your knowledge with us, Captain, in such an engaging, understandable way. It is really appreciated. You're very welcome, Dave. Thank you so much for your donation. Thank you for coming along to the stream today, and I hope you're doing very well. And I really appreciate it. That's really kind of you. And yeah, it means so much to me that you guys that you enjoy the content, because it's just, you know, it's the motivation to do this for so long. And I say so long, it's not that long, but like I say, coming up on a year of quite regular uploads in my mind anyway. I know there's been some patches where we're a bit quieter, so thank you very much, Dave. Really appreciate it, and I hope you're doing very well. Yeah, so James, it depends on the crew, but after the flight, as passengers getting off, is typically the best time if there's a chance. Do you feel that the controls are very sensitive in FS 2020 compared to the real A320? No, not the side stick with the custom fly-by-wire. They've done a great job, and I can't feel much difference. The rudder is still a bit of an issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator on the ground, especially. MoS says, no magnetos in an Airbus with a run-up check. Exactly, yeah. Mr. Espresso says, thinking of baking and eating a pizza during our 2 hours cruise, but of course, while flying, I shouldn't do that. That does sound like a really good afternoon, though, Mr. Espresso, I've got to say. Pazante says, have you ever been to Newcastle in real life? I have indeed. Airbus Pro says, how do you make good flight sim videos? Because I'm trying to make my own. I don't know. I just, the thing I do with my videos, I try to spend a bit of time on them. So I try and edit out, you know, pauses or simple mistakes, and try and get in some exterior footage and so on. What I try not to do is, I don't want to just upload a continuous recording of me sitting there talking about something. Sometimes if I get it right first try, but that's very rare. So I usually have to do a few attempts. So yeah, that's it just takes a bit of effort, a bit of practice, really. I'm sure you can do it, Airbus Pro, if you start off simple. And if you looked at my first videos on the channel, you'll definitely see that. Hey to Jay Robbins, thanks for coming along. I hope you're doing well. Thanks, good to see you here again. Dr. Darin Naho says, it's now time to ask for the setup Dutch roll. So the Dutch roll is an effect that you can't replicate in the Airbus really, because it's got the fly-by-wire dampening. A Dutch roll is caused by the instability. Look at that. I hope they fix those contrails soon. I really do. X-Plane's got them sorted. They're okay from the side, but that is a little bit distracting. Something you will notice about airliners at this altitude, I don't know if this is simulated yet, but if you take out the autopilot, they just behave so differently. You actually have to use the autopilot at this altitude, but if we take it out and then we look, you'd up here the airplane would only normally go to about 15 degrees of bank. So there we go. Here's a bit of Dutch roll. Is just a continuous roll and yawing motion that gets progressively worse. It's caused by instability. Now the Airbus is very positively stable. It is so stable because it's got the flight control computers making sure it is. So you can see that I move the stick, it goes there and it stays there. So we did talk a bit in the Toliss about how there's just not much extra thrust up here, and there's not much extra performance. So you do any sort of maneuver like that, you'll see the red bar coming right up beneath you. So that's about it, I'm afraid. I don't know what else to do for you. Do a bit from the outside. Not something you do up here. Much better to do this. Well, not at all. But you see pilots do it sometimes when they're departing with an aeroplane for its final flight, things like that. I think the Virgin Atlantic 747s did a few of those when they were being taken off for their when they were being removed from the fleet. Brianni says, I don't have to start the war, others are doing so well. Cries in Spanish. Oh dear, we're already on the food chat. Of course we are. Chick Point's got a Subway sandwich. Fantastic. Fantastic. Haven't had a Subway sandwich in a long time. Yeah, for good reasons, James, exactly, yeah. Piano Learner says, if ATC give you a different SID to the one in the company flight plan, you just edit the MCDU, but are there any reasons you'd need to tell the company that it's changed? No, the company don't care. The company have filed the flight plan. You need to work out whether it's safe, whether it's got the right fuel, whether you're allowed to fly it, but usually if air traffic control give it to you, it should be acceptable. No. Even if your route changed slightly, if air traffic reroute you, you'll just do that. You don't need to tell the company. They can see where you are. The times you'd need to talk to the company about a reroute is when you want it, and they'll have to refile your flight plan for air traffic control. Dr. Darian says, quality and the gods of the algorithm. Yeah, yeah, the algorithm, exactly. All praise. Phil says, miss you taking off from the tune. Hope the weather was good. The weather was fine, actually. Not bad. Not bad for a departure from Newcastle. Simon says, just finished my A350 training in X-Plane 11, London to New York tomorrow. Fantastic. Enjoy that. Bacon Warrior says, I think I might do this flight in the 732 later on, not flown out of Newcastle before. Yeah. Just make sure you don't do any RNAV departures, although I suppose you could do if you have the FMS. Misha says, I was wondering if the Airbus displays top of descent. We shall find out. The real one does, of course, but whether this one can is another question. The real one, you can do this, that, flight plan. Scroll all the way through and you'd be able to see it already, but no, it doesn't like it's in here. I haven't put an arrival in yet either, but still, so no. The airport button is funny. The airport button is so simple, but it's something you use so much. It should, if I was on progress, but then I press airport, it should jump to the flight plan page and go to the destination. Likewise, if I press it again, it should, now we're in flight. Oh, goodness me, it's been a while since I've used this, but yeah, the airport button allows you to just jump to the airport, so jump the flight plan to the end. It's quite useful actually, but still, maybe one day. Very trivial, I suppose, at this point. There we go, we've broken free of the cloud. Hayden J. Robbins says, did I miss you announce your 40k subs? Yeah, we mentioned it at the start. Yeah, I can't I don't really know what to say. I'm going to make a community post, obviously, and I don't know if I'll do a little video. We did do that before, back when we had 321 subscribers. Possibly, well, of course, we are going to do our long-haul live stream flights as well, so that is all to come. So, yeah, it's madness. Yeah, I can't believe it. But thank you all so much. It's never been the objective of the channel. We've always just sort of done what we enjoyed. That's why you'll keep seeing these UK charter airlines appear on the channel. But I really, really can't believe how many people are kind enough to come along and say such nice things and stay with the channel. I mean, that's the bit that really surprises me, I suppose, that we grew quite rapidly at one point after Microsoft launched their flight simulator, and I didn't know what would happen because we gained so many subscribers, and I wasn't sure if we'd keep them, but it seems like we have, which is really great. So really, really appreciate you guys for sitting with us all this time. Yeah, thank you all so much. And yeah, we'll talk about it a bit more as we head over to on our long flight, which I've not quite set the route for, but that should be, I'm aiming to do that in just a few days. We were quite late with it last time. Yeah, my first video went up on the channel 5th of April 2020, the first live stream 3rd of May. And that first live stream, we went from Frankfurt to Amsterdam. The live streams on this channel used to be a bit shorter, about 1.5 hours, and then I started to increase the length a little bit as we slowly morphed into this sort of podcast style stream that we end up with now. Michael says, since the fly-by-wire installer was updated, I've stopped receiving updates for the custom A32NX mod. Is this the same for you? Also, congrats on 40,000 subs. Thank you very much, Michael. Really appreciate it. So, as I said earlier, you need to get... The custom one is not being updated at the moment, I don't believe, because we're going to soon have the custom autopilot version in there. So hopefully when that gets included in the installer, then it will all be there. So I think that must be coming soon. So yeah, it's not been updated for a while. I'm using the custom autopilot from the Discord server. There's a link in there. Tango Delta says, usually when a new plane departs our Boeing Everett factory to its customer, the pilots wave goodbye with their plane's wings. There you go. Yeah, it must be good fun. Wired Womble says, hello. Bit late, so much work to do. Time to relax on the cruise. Yeah, take it easy. Put your feet up. Get a cup of tea or coffee. We are strolling on down to Palma de Mallorca. Take some people on holiday. Might get a couple of sunsets in this flight as well. Pizza time for John. Excellent. Epatha says subway costs a fortune in airports. Where's the? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen a subway in an airport in Europe. American airports have all the chains in them, which I can't. Well, we're on to food chat, really. Oh dear. But I can't pretend I wouldn't like a McDonald's on the way to work. John says UK weather is surprisingly good today. I'm touching lots of wood so as to not to jinx it. Yeah, it is. The UK is not doing too badly. A bit breezy though, as we saw. A bit breezy out of Newcastle. These lower clouds out here. That's pretty much how it's looking out of my window actually. So not bad. It's not bad. But in Santos, we are flying the A320 NEO. Volcom says, is initiating a holding pattern modelled? You can press the buttons to make it look like you are going to do the hold, but it doesn't actually do it. That is on the way, I believe. Unless anyone knows better, maybe it's been added now. Dr. Darinaho says, what's your favourite cocktail? Oof, I don't drink many. Pina colada. I do like... But pina colada's got to be in the right place, hasn't it? It's no good at home, sitting in rainy England. Kai says, how many sunsets? I think we'll get 2 in today. But I'm going to aim for 1. James is having trouble getting the TTA add-on, so still waiting for a stock from Aerosoft. Yeah, so but I've been checking. To be fair, I've been checking Thrustmaster's website. They've not had any. Amazon haven't had any. So if anyone has, let us know. Thank you, Hayden J. Robbins. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Checkpoint says I can unsubscribe if you don't want to do a long haul. Yeah, that's the other concern. I don't want to. I did realise that there's a potential here for me to end up. If we lose too many subscribers before the long haul, we could end up sitting there with 39.9 again. So hopefully not. We have a bit of a buffer now. I hope you all enjoyed the charts video. For anyone who hasn't seen it, again, sorry for the confusion about that video. I didn't want that to happen. It's quite rare on this channel, but there's just a few things that needed changing, and that's how it ended up. Pretty much a headwind now, so almost in line with our contrail. Can't wait till we can see contrails from other aeroplanes. That makes a big difference as well. Piano Learner says favourite aviation books. Mine is Flying the Big Jets by Stanley Stewart. Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely a good one is Fate is the Hunter. Fate is the Hunter is an excellent book that really captures pilots very well, and fascinating stories, really amazing. There's Darren Naho says, so you also like pineapple? Nice. Yeah, well, let's not start the pineapple debate. Hayden J. Robbins says you can fly a fighter across the Atlantic in 4 hours. Just saying, yeah. Hayden's being desperate for me to get in one of the fighter jets in the in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, I've not seen amazing reviews of the Eurofighter, so I haven't tried it yet. Also, we have DCS, of course. I'm tempted by the Aramaki 339. Is definitely tempting me, and the Just Flight Hawk I'm looking forward to when that comes around. I think that would be good fun to fly, but they won't get across the Atlantic, either of those, in one go, I suspect, and certainly not in 4 hours. Do you like getting caught in the rain, says Benny. Yeah, exactly. Kodeko says, right, enough aviation, what's your go-to Mackey's order? Well, I'm a big fan of, you know, the thing that would be really doing it for me is if I was working an early shift. And, you know, early shifts you can wake up at all sorts of times, but let's say you're waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. If you then, or even 3, if I was to walk through a terminal and there was a McDonald's open serving breakfast, and I could get a coffee and a hash brown and one of their muffins, oh dear, that would be terrible. I would never manage to walk past. In Human Reaction says it will be possible with the new FPM, which is currently in development. FPM? What's the new FPM? I'm confused. I do get confused easily. Thank you very much, Griddyman, for your $10 donation. Really kind, Griddyman. Thank you so much. Griddyman says, just noticed mid-flight that I forgot to set up the init B page. Is that possible in real life? Can you take off without setting up that page? Congrats on 40k subscribers. Thank you so much, Griddyman. Thank you for your donation. Really appreciate it. And thank you very much. I'm glad you're part of the 40k, I would imagine anyway. But yeah, thank you so much. Can you take off without the init B? I have never seen it because it's so critical. Without the init B page, the airplane doesn't know its weight. So what it won't be able to do is draw these lines properly. It won't be able to give you the predictions properly either, because it doesn't know loads of pieces of information. So it would be like me clearing out the weights from here, and then it wouldn't be able to do fuel calculations. So I can't see it happening. Is it possible to take off without it filled in? Yeah, I don't see why not. You could start the engines and put them to toga and do your performance calculations and set it all and take off, but you'll be missing a lot of features in the box. Remember, this box could just go offline. You could lose both of these. It is possible. And then you could resort to backup navigation using this little switch here, which I haven't shown much on the channel actually at all. But you could do backup navigation. You've got still got your instruments, but yeah, it is possible. Have I ever done it? No, it's incredibly rare. It's just such a vital part. But anyway, thank you very much for your donation, Griddyman. And yeah, in the sim, the magic is you can just go to init B, and I think you can do the old click next to it and put it in. I think that works even in flight in the fly-by-wire, I think. Kai says the hold feature doesn't work still. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I thought not. I thought not. John wants a double sausage and egg McMuffin. Giuseppe says, steer very clear from anything made by Redlock 3D. The quality is not well, not a glowing review there from Giuseppe either. I've never tried any of their products, I must admit, but yeah. So that's the only one on there, isn't it? The Eurofighter at the moment. Liam says, hi everyone, since I know you have both, is a fly-by-wire 320 more performance heavy than the CRJ by Aerosoft in terms of stutters and FPS impact? Thanks, love your content. You're very welcome, thanks for coming along, and thanks for your question. Easy, that answer, easy. The CRJ is lighter on frames than the 32NX is, for me personally. Not a criticism. I know the fly-by-wire team are doing an amazing job keeping optimizations going, and I'm sure they'll keep improving the optimization, but the CRJ is lighter. Now, remember, the CRJ doesn't have as many systems. There's no rotate law, there's no normal law, there's no bank angle protections, so there's just less going on, to be honest with you. Having said that, Aerosoft have done an incredible job with it, so it does have all the systems running there in the background, the hydraulics, the electrics, and so on. So it's just an observation that I find that it does run with slightly better FPS than I get in the fly-by-wire. Only in the cockpit view I'm talking here. Oh, no, not like that. Yeah, in this view. These new textures are just so good. Oh, there's even reflections on the sun visor. These textures just have really stepped up the game, and I already thought the old textures were great, but these are really, really good. Still not sure. This still looks slightly more crinkly than I ever see it in real life, but that's only, I suppose, with the sun low down. Well, heading out to France now. Didn't meet many controllers on the way. Giuseppe says, the Eurofighter is absolutely unsightly. The MB339 is great on the other hand. There you go, fantastic. Yeah, I'm tempted to try it. I'm just not sure what we would do with it, really, is the only problem. Dave N says, Fate is the Hunter, awesome. Yeah, it is awesome, yeah. Kev says, enjoyed the charts video, made me take a subscription to Navigraph. Oh, we need to get sponsored by Navigraph, surely. surely. The link to the livery, guys, is to my X-Plane livery. I should have turned that off for today. Let me do that, actually. That's turned off. So the livery, if you want this version Sun livery, it's in the description to the video, made by Mike V on the forum. eBoss, good to see you. Oh, I'm way behind, I think, on the chat. I think I'm way behind. I do apologise. Reese says, McDonald's hash browns are something else. Scarily addictive. I know. Brianna says, don't you dare throw me in front of the bus for this food war. You started this. I don't feel like I started it. I feel like I've become complicit with it, though, definitely. Hi, I use the Thrustmaster TCA joystick. Roby says, how is the Thrustmaster TCA quadrant when flying GA aircraft? Is it good with the detents? Without the detents? Yeah, it's good without the detents, absolutely. So I have no trouble. I just take out the detents. And I think it's great. Hayden J. Robbins, thank you very much for your £3.20 donation. I see what you did there. Thank you, Hayden. Very kind of you. Hayden says, when back flying IRL, will you continue to stream? Yes, yeah, I will. And I have every intention of keeping up the videos and streaming. It's just... well, I can prove it, actually, because I was flying last year when things were a little bit better than they are right now, which is hard to believe. But there we go. And I still managed to keep up the streams and the videos then. Obviously, it's slightly not quite as frequent. I think we've done a stream every other day for the last few days now. But that's just because, this is pretty much, it's almost full time at the moment, this. So yeah, but no, we'll be keeping it up, definitely, Head and Jay. But thank you very much for your £3.20 donation. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Corrosive Moon, if I didn't say so, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Corrosive Moon also been here since right at the start. I think I saw Corosive Moon's name in one of the very first streams, along with the original sort of 18. Daniel says, do you miss your wake-up routine? I've got a new wake-up routine now, but I never really... the night before, when you're working early in the morning, because obviously a lot of you do shift work, so a lot of you will know this, but I'm not too fussed about getting up early. It gives you the whole day. The night before and early would be a little bit like, it's a bit annoying when you have to go to bed early, but that's just it. You manage your rest. But as soon as I'm up in the morning and the alarm's gone and I'm sort of, by the time I'm getting ready to leave the house, I've never minded, because I absolutely love that first sector. I love taking off in the dark and having the sunrise while you have your breakfast. I think it's just great. So I've never minded getting up early for aviation purposes, put it that way. Flying Iron Film says, I actually get slightly better with the A32NX. I think it's Asobo's current CPU usage. There you go. I think it will depend on people's computers as well. Simon C says, what happens if you take off with the thrust levers in flex MCT position without having inserted a flex temperature? Is that setting ever used without the flex temp other than during a soft go around? Yeah, MCT or flex MCT is used when you want max continuous thrust. So when you've had an engine failure, you actually put the thrust levers there, and it will allow the aircraft to provide max continuous thrust on the live engine, so a bit more than climb thrust. Yep. For takeoff, if you did that, you'd get MCT flashing. It'll be a mess, so you just go to toga. Yeah, hi, I do use the Airbus joystick, exactly. Codeco is going to have a break. Enjoy, Codeco. Thanks for coming. So Gosh is trying to cut down on snacking. Oh, I do apologise. Axel Jack says, fly through the Mac loop. Yeah, the Mac loop. Yeah, okay. I'll have to go and do a bit of research on that. No, sorry, Slasnam, the icing issues are still here. Yeah, it's still here. Rotate Simulation says, off topic, but does anybody own the Coronado Citation? Oh, good question. Mateo says, the Airbus starts shouting at you if you do that, asking you to use toga. There you go. Yeah, it's caused a few instances over the years, but the answer is, if you're not sure about the thrust, you can always just go to toga, remember. Gordon says the 339 is very good in VR. With the last update, the cockpit feels much more natural and is friendly on the FPS. Oh, very good. It does sound tempting. Victor Tango says, I use the TCA quadrant without detents on the Boeings and it works great, including the flaps and speed brakes. Yeah, exactly. I use it for GA and I use it for the CRJ. Although with the CRJ, I use the detents. Mr. Schwarzer says there is a hardware mod for the TCA for more realistic detents. I'm going to have my brother 3D print it. Yeah, I know, I did see that and I've been debating it. Yeah. Roby says, how often are you flying in real life these days? Are you still doing several days a week? No. No, I'm not, sadly. No, hence I'm here a lot more. Sanjay, hello. Adam, hello to you. Pilot Andre, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Grace Moon says, I remember being here very early, was looking for an RNAV tutorial and came across this gem of a channel. Fantastic. Thanks, Grace Moon. Really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with us all this time. I hope you're enjoying your hoodie. And yeah. RNAV was one of the first ones I did. That was one of my more popular original videos. And I did a holding video, which was something I had a lot of requests for. And I say a lot, one or two. But I remember getting one or two comments on a video was good going. Terry Ash, thank you for your £5 donation. Really generous, Terry, with a keep it up pair doing weights. Great to have the pair featuring on the channel as always. And thank you so much, Terry, for your £5 donation. Really appreciate it. Very kind. I hope you're doing well. And thanks so much. Yeah, very kind of you. If you put a message in somewhere, I'm sure someone will point it out to me. Thank you, Terry. Simon says, does distance 2 in the prog work yet? And it would be great if they could do the tray table. Let's see. Oh, getting air traffic. One, 2, 5, 5. Where are we going? Yeah, the LNAV's definitely improved, or the autopilot's definitely improved its tracking. We'll see how reliable the LNAV is at the other end when we get there. So we're going to Deauville. Control, bonjour, Virgin 266. Flight level 350 to Deauville.
Virgin 266, bonjour, direct Alpha Mike Bravo.
Direct to Airbus, Virgin 266. Trying to make up for my faux pas the other day when I misnamed a controller. Was not very popular. Direct Airbus, insert. Thank you very much, Tom Corwine, for your we've had this happen, haven't we? This exact thing.
Angel Flight 3 Hotel Zulu. Angel Flight 3 Hotel Zulu. 3 Hotel Zulu.
It was pretty much ahead. We're in heading. Okay, we'll sort that in a second. Thank you, Tom Corwine, for your donation. Really appreciate it, Tom. Tom says, thanks for your hard work making these videos. You're very welcome, Tom. Thank you for coming along, and thank you for your very kind donation. Really, really appreciate it. Very kind of you. And thank you again to Terry. Danny says, 320 pilot reads a whole book by reading those questions. It consists of the max words allowed in a message by YouTube.
122.8, bye-bye, runner 664 Romeo, have a nice evening.
F1 is this weekend, indeed it is. Yeah, so question for you guys. If I did a long haul stream, it would overlap with the F1, so if I did it on Sunday, so is that a problem, eh? Berlin says, just subscribe to your channel, looking forward to more content. Thanks, Berlin. Thanks for your subscription. Yeah, sorry, the subscriptions aren't showing up properly. Pete White says, the holding tutorial was the first video I watched. I followed ever since, always learning something new. Thanks, Pete. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, that was, not so long ago, really. Right, what are we going to do here? Can I just request it? Yeah. No, that was an easy fix. More promising. Okay, that one seems to have worked. Again, the real airplane would go straight into nav, but we're just going to do it ourselves. Nav. There we are. Oh, look, we've got a solid line for once. So let's check that flight plan. Airbus, Sophill. Yeah, look at that. It's all there. So this is what I mean. The CRJ's lateral navigation, I don't know whether it's custom or not, but it seems to work very reliably. Of course, we've not done as many flights with it, so we'll have to try it out again soon. But yeah. Rock on. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Baker Moria says, I subbed back in August along with many others while working out the Microsoft Flight Simulator default 320. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, thanks for coming along, Baker Moria. Very active on the Discord since you joined, I know.
Control easy.
Piano Learner says, first flight sim, mine was Project Stealth Fighter for Commodore 64. Mine was Flight Simulator 98. Flight Simulator 98. Kai says that happened. Yeah, so that dropping of the flight plan. I'm sure we did a stream not long ago where we had that. Again, I'm using the super unstable experimental version that comes with about 10 health warnings when you use it because they don't want you to be surprised. So that's not their fault. That's me for streaming with it. But a much easier fix today than we're used to. So that's good news. Yeah, very happy with that.
Press control, Bravo Alpha Lima 295 requesting.
G Point says long haul is more important than F1. Kyle says nope, I'm watching Max win. There you go.
Lima 295, first contact Euro Control West 135.25, bye.
John says I'd watch you. Johan says I'd watch for sure. Okay, there we go. Or split screen, yeah. That's it. It's not like Formula 1 you can have on at the same time. Also overlap with MotoGP. Now I'm using, depends which version of the fly-by-wire module you're using. I'm using, like I say, using the custom one, which is why these may look different.
You're at West Control on 135.25, thank you.
So hopefully, I'm imagining your textures will all look the same. If the sun shines on them directly, you can see all the dirt on the screens and so on. We are coming up to our second sunset time. Oh, sorry, time to reset in preparation for our second sunset.
Angel Flight 3 Hotel Zulu, autorisé approcher RMC X21, descendez à 3000 pieds, QNH 1022.
Toga, thank you very much. Thank you for your thanks, for your well done. Thank you very much to Predrag for your Serbian dinar, if I remember correctly. Thank you very much, 1,000 Serbian dinar. Really appreciate it, Predrag. Thank you for your kind donation. I hope you're doing very well. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Virgin 90, bonjour, direct Alpha Mike Bravo.
Thank you, Pedro. I hope you're doing very well, and thanks for coming along and donating. And I hope I remembered that right. And if you put a message through, do hopefully someone will point me towards it. I'm sorry if I do miss any messages from people. But yeah, thank you very much, Pedro. Really kind of you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Kai says, I subbed late August when I realised I had no idea about the Airbus and the thrust detents coming from the 737 in X-Plane 11, so I had no idea. Yeah. The Airbus, it is one of those things, some really simple things. Serbian dinar says Dr. Naruho. Yeah, I was right, finally. Excellent. Learning so many currencies, which is, yeah, really great. Danny Roble says, been here for some time, but the nicest flight and which I enjoyed the most was the one with the taxi rates at Heathrow in the 350 all the way to the Maldives. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember it well. 1st of January we did that, New Year's Day, yeah. Kevin says, so many people flying to Lipa now if you look at my tracking out. Fantastic. Brandon M, hello to you. Thanks for coming. The event says, visuals are amazing. X-Plane has come a long way. I'm hoping I've set this up right. It does say Game Microsoft Flight Simulator on my screen. Yeah, it's so good looking.
Thomas Cook, 86 Thomas Juliet, Tango.
Brianni says, are you experiencing sometimes that the autopilot doesn't follow the navigation and starts to roll to the right or left? It's done, you know, it does a little bit of that. Just a little bit of wobbling as it passes over a waypoint. Oh, there's some good French coming out on the frequency. Yeah, I've had a little bit of that, but we'll see what happens at Amboise. I'm hoping it will move along. It seems to have recovered quite nicely. Fuel predictions in there. Progress page.
Eurocontrol West on 13.
Still no. I'll be so happy. I'll be making a video of that when that happens, where I just sit there and jump up and down with joy. Paddy, thank you very much for your 10 euro donation. Thank you so much, Paddy. Really generous. Thank you. Paddy says, happy 40k. So well deserved. First stream I watched of yours was when you flew a BEA livery 321. It was because I wanted a version of that for Microsoft Flight Simulator that I decided to start doing my own livery. That's amazing. Thanks so much, Paddy. You've contributed loads to the channel with your liveries and your time and effort and your help on the Discords. So thank you so much for your time as well as your very kind donations. Really appreciate it, Paddy. And that's great to hear. That's funny because I remember the BA livery that was made by one of our other users who made that, and I used that in the Toliss. And then I saw you've got one in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so fantastic. But thanks so much, Paddy. Really, really appreciate it. And True Gaming, goodness me, True Gaming, $50 US. That's really generous. Thank you, True Gaming. True Gaming says, wearing my 320 Sim Pilot shirt today and didn't even realise you had a stream until after I got dressed. Keep up the great content. Happy to finally catch another stream. Always a pleasure. Thank you, True Gaming. Really, really kind. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm glad to hear the merch is being is being enjoyed. Oh dear, that's great. Thank you so much. That's incredibly generous. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Paddy. Thank you, True Gaming, for your incredibly generous $50. Really appreciate it. And also, of course, Predrag and everyone else. You guys far too generous supporting the channel. But thank you all for just coming along and chatting with us. It's the motivation that I need. Yeah, it's just great. Glad that the Sim Pilot shirts are out there. Oh dear. Dr. Diana, who says pina coladas definitely need to be given out on the long haul. Yeah, they would, yeah. Embert, thank you for your 50 knock donation. Really appreciate it, Embert, as well. Again, you guys are doing far too much, Embert. Embert says, great stream as always. Thanks for doing this for the community. You're very welcome, Embert. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for being so generous and kind. And yeah, really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing very well in Norway, Norwegian Kroner. We know that one. Thank you. Really kind, Embert. Ed Haslam says, busy day today, just dropping by to say have a great flight. We'll catch up later. Happy 40k. Thank you so much, Ed Haslam. Thank you for all your support, and thanks for coming along. And I hope you're doing well. We'll see you again soon. Long haul stream. There'll be time for everyone to stop in on the long haul stream at some point, I'm sure. Kai says, I've spent so much time in my favourite plane, A320, and when I attempt to fly the 737, I crash into the terminal. Oh dear, yeah. Thank you, Brandon M, for your congrats. Thanks. We'll be we'll be talking about it a bit more during the long haul. Checkpoint says, made New Year's Day much more fun during the pandemic. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? I did enjoy it. Thank you again to Paddy, True Gaming, and Ember. You're really generous. Yeah, Lizzo 5's been here from the start, absolutely. Fly 24 was another one who did the music, or does the music, I should say. I don't know if Fly 24 is around. True Gaming says, my daughters love the shirt. They always ask to see the back over and over. I think they really like the pink. Excellent. I'm glad you like the shirt, True Gaming. Fantastic. Adam says, I'm also thinking about getting the merch. Who doesn't want it, right? Excellent. Yeah, well, it's the link is in there. Let me, if I can promote something actually. What are you guys? We've got stickers. We've got the cat and manta t-shirts, which is the more animal themed one. We've got the mug, which we can we've pinned the mug before. The tail and livery t-shirt. Let's put that one up. Now I don't know why it's showing grey. I normally try and show it in the blue one by default, but grey is an option. It's available to you. It should show you the back as well. So it's not a great picture that's going to pin, but anyway, that will take you through to the store, as will the website 320simpilot.com. Ryan Video says, I have an amazing view of you behind. Ryan Videos is following us along then. Excellent. Johannes B, thank you so much for your 10-year donation. Thanks for contributing towards the channel again. Very generous. Johannes says, thank you very much for today's stream. I'm enjoying it very much. Keep up the great work. Greetings from Germany. Thank you, Johannes. Thank you for your donation. I hope everything is going well for you in Germany. And we really appreciate you coming along to join us today. And thank you for that incredibly generous donation. Yeah, you're all far too kind. Thank you. Goodness me. Landing001 says, is that dust on the screen of my computer screen or the plane screen? Because if it's a plane windows, that's impressive. They do have dust in this one. Yeah, and bits of specs. These circular scratches are a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing, and I don't know why. I've never seen circular ones like that, but you do get big scratches on these windows, usually more vertical. But there we go. I'm not going to complain. When the sun hits the windows like right, they can look pretty dirty. But yeah, thank you again, Johannes B, for your donation. And obviously True Gaming, Ember, Paddy. Goodness me. Checkpoint says, going for the mug to celebrate the long haul. Fantastic, Checkpoint. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, the mug is has always been a very popular one. Kai is descending into Varna. So I got to go catch up with the stream later. Good luck. Thanks, Kai. Thanks for coming along. Captain says, how about a flight dedicated for my own ego? 747 from Frankfurt, where I live, to KSAT, where I'm from. Goodness me. Well, you know, 747, if we had a full detailed one, would be great. Maybe one day. Dr. Darren Naho says, red nav light not being on the right wing always confuses me to no end. Yeah, it's a funny one. I don't know how they came up with it, but that's where it is. From boats, I'm assuming. Rakon says, what is causing that neutral white light on the instrument panel and the strut only sunset? Yeah, this is the sun beaming through the windows. I think that's what you're talking about, unless there's something else up here that I've missed. This is the reflection of the this panel here of the iPad holder. The cat has just been meowing, but she did leave. She's just walked out the room. Brandon and long haul is to be determined, possibly Sunday. DH Simulations, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. FO radio calls. Yeah. Thank you very much, James Cooper. Again, James, that's so generous. James, thank you for your £10 donation. James says, we'll sadly be leaving shortly. Me and a friend have a Innsbruck Athens planned in our World A320 tour. We'll catch up on the rest ASAP via YouTube and look forward to the next one. Fly safe. Thank you, James. Really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing very well. And thank you again for donating. Enjoy your flight. And thank you for coming along to the channel. And thank you for supporting us so much. Thanks. Thank you to Ed Haslam for picking up the stickers. Fantastic. Yeah, the stickers are out there. They are available on the Teespring store. I have some. I think I've posted some pictures of them. And what you can do with the stickers is either it's one big sticker, or you can, if you're very careful, you can cut out the individuals. So I cut out the circular logos and stuck them around my house. So there you go. So thank you very much, Ed Hassan, for picking those up. I hope you enjoy them. Jack Tarr, thank you for your £10 donation. Goodness me. Jack says, ahoy there from the Isle of Wight. Thank you for your informative streams. You're very welcome, Jack. Isle of Wight, one of my favourite places in the UK. I'm so glad we've got someone watching from there. We flew to Bembridge on my South UK group flight. More group flights to come very soon. But thank you, James. Thank you, Jack, for your £10 donation. Yeah, really appreciate it, Jack. And I hope things are well on the Isle of Wight. Absolutely love the place. Yeah, brilliant, 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 brilliant. So thank you. Thanks for I don't know what to say. Thank you for the donations. I'm glad you enjoy the streams. I haven't missed any radio calls or this generosity from you guys. Yeah, Ed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you cut them out. So what I do with the stickers, or what I did, was I cut it into half. So if you cut up beneath the airplane, so you have the airplane on one big sort of rectangle, and then you can cut out the two circular ones as you wish, or whatever you want to do with it, whatever you want to do. But there you go. So it comes as one big sticker. But they're quite good quality, and they do stick quite well, as you'd hope, being a sticker. The cat came to check cruise. Is going as planned as MSJ, and yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jim Basto. No, you're very welcome. Glad you enjoy it. And thank you again, Jack, for that donation, and James. Really, really appreciate it. Captain Bagov says, grew up my dad flying the SP 400 and 777. There you go. Excellent. Yeah, PMDG 747. Come on, let's get that into Microsoft Flight Simulator, because the Asobo seems to have pretty much given up on their one. Well, I certainly don't have much joy when I try and use it. So yeah, I know PMDG are working hard to get some airplanes in. I understand the 737 is first, but I'd love the 747-400. I would love, love, love that. Adrian Burke says, minor update for the Beluga just released. Excellent. Hopefully I can install that update without oh dear, without messing up my config files on X-Plane for the controls, because I did last time. Ollie Nutt says, gonna have to leave it there for today. Got somewhere to be. Have a great rest of the stream. Can't wait for the next one. And a huge congrats for 40k. Thank you, Ollie. Hope you're doing well, and thanks for coming along. And we'll see you in another one soon. Enjoy whatever you're up to. Sean, good to see you, Sean Cobb. Sean says, afternoon, following your flight on Volanta, seeing all the planes in line behind you. Got to start calling you the Pied Piper. Yeah, we have. Well, we did earn that nickname a little bit by let me see. Let me jump into that map. By my stream when I accidentally went to the wrong airport with everyone in the Cirrus. We flew too we flew too far. Oh goodness me, that is a queue of airplanes we've formed, isn't it? You can actually see us if you look at France on any sort of VATSIM map. There's a clear line.
135.25. Bye bye.
Oh, we're being caught up by the Virgin behind us at 37,000 feet. They might overtake us as well. Well, that'll work out. They're a bit higher, so they'll have a higher TAS, so they'll get past us. And do we have a controller? Yeah, we do. Look at that. Palma is staffed. Fantastic. So what's in the minor update for the Beluga? Piano Learner says, have you thought about setting up a Patreon? I'm sure people would support the stream without wanting exclusive content. I keep thinking about Patreon. There's our classic Earth Shadow. Love that. I keep thinking about a Patreon, or maybe memberships. Yeah, it's like I say, every time I go to work on it, I end up making a video. So I must do it. Something to consider, definitely. Another one people have recommended is Buy Me a Coffee. Obviously not a demand, but more of a if you would like to buy me a coffee thing. Dave says Pied pilots.
288, descending flight level 250, inbound Manic.
Information, breath control just closed.
Ah, breast control just closed, it seems. Katie says, I personally find this aircraft a pain to fly because it has so many bugs, quirks. I know Fly-by-Wire are working on it, but interested to hear how you're finding it. Now, I see I'm using the latest, most unstable version, and sometimes, yeah, there's a fuel flow problem or whatever. Like now we can see we're not getting the fuel used bug, things like that. But there's so many other things that are working so reliably now with their autopilot that it's really getting very good, I must say. So we're doing sunset 1 here from our cozy cockpit, and then we'll go and have another one. That's the view that you'd get in the FOC. Not bad. Look at that. Amazing. There's our wingtip. Brianni says, can you make a Velcro version of your stickers so I can stick it to my diving gear so you can be 130 feet down? 130 feet, goodness me, you do go deep. You know, I would love to make a patch or a material patch, but again, making merchandise, I've looked into pens and notepads and models, but it's really hard because it's just an initial expense that has to happen. So I'd love to do a patch, like a threaded patch that you could do things like that with. But for now, I wouldn't know how without the cost that has to go into it. It's just a bit too much at the moment. Matt Olsen says, I'm expecting to see 40k Christmas cards. There you go. Yeah. Tom says, I would support you on Patreon. Thank you, Tom. Tom Corwine. That's really really kind. Thanks, Tom. Thank you for the information. Thank you for the support. Tom says, I've grown to love the 320 because of 320 Sim Pilots videos. I wasn't much of an Airbus fan prior. That's great. Yeah, that's really great. I love hearing that because I was the same. It didn't make much sense to me. So that's great to hear. There are 12 planes in line above France. It is quite clear on the map. Yeah, it is. Exactly. Yeah, Chris. Yeah. Pete White says, if someone had shown me the current stream view in FS98 days, I'd probably never believe a desktop simulator could look so good. Certainly makes me wonder what's in store down the line. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. When I saw FSX come out, I thought, well, that's it. They're never going to improve on that. And here we are. Look at this. Hayden says, I called you the Pied Piper before on stream. There you go, yeah. Thank you so much, John Padfield, for your $6.87 donation. I'm sorry, it chose me in dollars, I think, the way it does it. But thank you, John. John says, thank you for my virtual Airbus type rating 320 Sim Pilot. You're very welcome, John. Thank you so much for donating towards the channel. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing very well, John. And thanks for coming along to so many streams. But yeah, that's really, really kind. Thank you, John. And thank you to Taylor Cox for your $10 US donation. Taylor says, go buy that coffee you just talked about. I will, definitely. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. Very kind. Thank you all. Far too generous today. It's outrageous. Thank you so much. Really kind of you guys. Yeah, thank you, John, and thank you, Taylor. And yeah, really, really appreciate it. That is an astonishing view. And there goes the sun. Right, guys, cover your eyes. Sunglasses on. We're going back in time. There we go. Scoot over. Just because doing the approach at night, it's not. We've done it before, but you do sort of miss out on what you're looking at. Every now and then, it's nice. I also want our passengers to get off excited and in the sunshine as they arrive on holiday. But yeah, thank you again, Taylor. Thank you for the kind donation. And thank you to John Padfield. Thank you, John. Really appreciate it. Dr. Donaho says the 320 Sim Conga line. Yeah, exactly. Cami says, have you flown things other than the 320 family? I have indeed. Dr. Donaho says, I know it's extra work, but have you considered adding stream highlights to the channel? I must admit that I've joined quite a few channels where, when recommended to me, also hashtag shorts. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I sometimes steal parts of streams. I've done it rarely, but I have stolen parts of my own streams to then sort of talk about it. As in terms of the highlights, I don't know. I don't know. Mateo says, you should definitely follow Katie Anderson on Twitch if you don't already. Fantastic content on the A320. Katie Anderson. Katie Anderson commented earlier about the quality. Katie says, I personally find this aircraft a pain to fly because it has so many bugs, quirks. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. So Katie is a Twitch streamer who streams, I think, P3D mostly. P3D of the FS Labs. Yeah, I do know. I know the Katie's channel. Yeah, there you go. So as Mateo says, if you'd like to see FS Labs, Katie is, I think, another real world pilot streaming on Twitch. So yeah. So for Katie, compared to the FS Labs, then this will be not the same experience, definitely. Enjoy a phone call, Victor Tango. But yeah, so no, if you're coming from the FS Labs, I can see the frustration, but they're working on it. And I started with this. Obviously, I came from the Toliss, which is excellent, and I went through the frustration of the default A320, and then so for me now everything is just such a nice surprise that it's moved on with where they've got it to. But yeah, there are still bugs. It's just a work in progress, but I do enjoy the journey that they're putting it through. Thank you very much, Bacon. Is that Bacon Barrier? Sorry, I missed it. For the see if I can see it a bit clearer. Bacon Barrier for the mug. I hope you enjoy it. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Bacon Barrier, for the sticker set. I hope you enjoy it. Does it say something at the bottom there? I do apologise. Can be a little bit hard for me to see. Let me just see. No, I can't see any better quality. So anyway, thank you, Bacon Barrier, for picking those up. Of course, Mateo Churi recently did some streams and has some excellent videos on his channel with the Zebo and some other airplanes, including the Airbuses. So yeah, I've used Mateo's 350 tutorial, definitely. Matt says best of SimPilot 2020. Yeah, there you go. Imagine that. John Padfield says the wonders of the desktop sim time machine. Yeah, exactly. Louis says, well, for what is the ground control button? Yeah, great question. Ground control button, this one, as we said, it actually automatically, it's just a push and then it clicks out again. It doesn't need to be pushed in, as they say, it's actually not. But it would go off when the engines are running because it's a voice recorder. So the voice recorder runs automatically with the engines running. But before that, we turn it on for the pushback and so on manually. Ryan Sharp would like a brighter strobe lights in the fly-by-wire. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, the strobe lights are incredibly bright. You can see them in basically any lights. It does surprise me actually. You can sit in the cockpit, look back at that wingtip, and you'd be able to tell the strobe light was on. And I have got them set on for once. So yeah, not my fault they are there. Rakon says, pretty sure Asobo never intended to do study level planes as they always wanted the premium devs in the sim. They should have communicated that better from the start. Yeah, I agree, Rakon, and I agree. And what Asobo have done with the simulator is incredible. Their updates and their commitment to it has been noticeable, and I really felt it. The graphics have always been ridiculously good. They had a great platform to start with, but they've providing the scenery, like when we did our Cairo group flight, all those amazing pieces of scenery they included with the sim, you know, included in the base price. All the stuff you've got in the UK updates and the America updates, and the amount of places you can go and fly with just the most stunning scenery, lighting, weather, I think it's amazing. The only thing that frustrated me at the start was the A320. I don't mind it. I didn't mind if it came by default very basic. So I was expecting a bit of a FSX style with like a really basic FMS, which you could just do the direct to and so on. Now they actually gave us a bit more than that. They gave us an FMS that sort of looked right, but sadly it was just so many things were sort of broken, so you couldn't really, it didn't take off or land particularly well, and it was quite difficult to use in general, even for flights, which is why I didn't stream it for so long. It wasn't until the fly-by-wire mod made it more usable. So I'd rather they went for a more, even more basic than they did, to be honest with you, but workable. Same with like the 747. I wanted to fly the 747 a little while back, and when the gear came up, parts of the landing gear were sticking up through the wings and things. Now I don't mind if it was basic, I would just like it to be, you know, usable, so I can put in a bit of a flight plan and make it follow the line. So, you know, that was a shame. Now I can completely understand how that happened. It is, I can't imagine the detail. Well, in fact, we can imagine. We can see how much work Fly-by-Wire put into this. And that is a team, a huge team, working round the clock, all around the world to do that. And Asobo just wasn't that big and isn't that big. And there was no way they could do that. And I completely understand that. And that is for third-party developers like Fly-by-Wire or whoever to do. But I just wish it wasn't broken. I don't mind as simple as it wanted to be, but just not broken. But I believe they have fixed it. And to be fair to Asobo as well, not only have they updated it a lot, they've also included even the track FBA I saw in the notes for the last update has been added to the default 320. I mean, that is, you know, that's good. So it's also just a time thing, isn't it? Things weren't quite finished cooking. Anyway, there's my little chat about it. No one asked to hear that. But yeah, hats off to Asobo. The sim is amazing. Some of the stuff in here and the way they're improving it is great, and to see them continuing to improve it at such a pace, you know, a fair while after launch is a relief, put it that way. They seem to be sticking by it, which is great. Didier says, hey there Captain, greetings from Belgium, I love your work, keep it up. Thanks Didier, thank you very much for coming along. Oh, everyone's on Eurocontrol. I'll go to... I haven't been contacted. Ooh. Yeah, because that last one did go offline. Giuseppe says, are you familiar with Berlin-Brandenburg? Yesterday I was going to the North Apron and ATC sent me on runway 25 right, then back off it, then on again to cross. Does this happen in real life? I'm not familiar with the airport, I'm afraid, Giuseppe. I'm really sorry. It opened... that's the one that opened recently, isn't it? That, frankly, I haven't flown there. Checkpoint said, it said, about time I got me a mug. There you go, thanks Checkpoint. I hope you enjoy it. Adam says, when will the long haul flight be and where to and from? Not confirmed yet, Adam, but possibly to Australia from the Maldives. Tom Corwin says, my TCA officer pack is arriving today. Excellent, enjoy that. No, it looks like Katie's gone, but I'm sure Matteo can help out those asking for the channel. Thank you very much, James Cooper. Again, James, thank you for your £5 donation. Really appreciate it, James. Goodness me, James. James says, FP done. Innsbruck runway 08 onto the Bren to Juliet. Looks very interesting. Thanks to your tracking and charts video, I know what I'm doing. Excellent. Enjoy that, James. Thank you so much. Thank you again for donating to the channel. Far too kind. Thank you. Really, really, really appreciate it. Goodness me. Goodness me. $148 contributors. Hungry for Apples says. Hungry for Apples. Very good. Yeah. Good name. Good name. Adam is asking Paddy for an EasyJet livery. Paddy hasn't done an EasyJet livery, although there are a lot of EasyJet liveries available, I think, on flightsim.to for Microsoft Flight Simulator, if that's what you're looking for. John says, you really do have the world in Flight Simulator 2020. In X-Plane, you need to have a few terabytes of ortho. The letdown was the aircraft, but with the 32NX and the CRJ, I now feel like I have a premium product. There you go. Yeah, exactly. And now the contrails are here, and the contrails are great. They're going to fix this angle thing, but aside from that, they're looking really good. So, just need that replay. I'd like a built-in replay. I have the replay tool, which works really well, but I'd like a built-in one nonetheless that works a bit better. Thank you again, James, for the donation. Juan says, hi Captain, what do you think about in 320 fly-by-wire model there are not rated in and set flight plan functions yet? Yeah, I'd like to see those. Those are useful things, definitely. But sadly, just got to wait a bit longer. I'm sure they're working hard on it. Giuseppe says, I should have made the question less specific. Does it ever happen in real life to be sent on a runway instead of the parallel runway, then off it, then back on to cross it? So it happened in real life to be sent on the runway instead of the parallel taxiway, sorry, then off it, then back on to cross it. I suppose anything could happen. Yeah, it's on a runway instead of the parallel taxiway, then off it, then back on to cross it. I mean, if you go to like the new Turkey airport, they have some interesting procedures with the way they taxi people on runways and so on. I mean, anything's possible as long as it's done safely. Sounds rare though. It does sound rare. Normally you'd be on the parallel taxiway, of course. Some places, for example, Venice has two runways, but one of the runways is pretty much always used as a taxiway. Same at Gatwick. So in Venice they'll taxi you on that runway, but they'll call it taxiway Tango. That is quite strange to me, but that's it. Mr. Espresso says, it's surprisingly relaxing flying into the sunset with a simulator after a day at work. Excellent. Glad you're enjoying it. But yeah, so I think that is rare, Giuseppe, but I don't see why you couldn't do that if they told you to. Dr. Darinaho says, Microsoft Flight Simulator streams scenery now. It does indeed. So you can actually tell instantly when it's using it. It does have a very good system for default scenery where it loads in just some green and stuff, which is pretty much what X-Plane and FSX used. So the whole world is still there. It's just not that detailed. This is streaming it in. So my poor internet connection is trying to stream in all this data and send out the stream to you guys. So yeah, it is a bit impressive, but it does use up your internet. Yeah, no doubt about it. Adam says, I've got max graphics for Flight Simulator 2020. It's excellent. Yeah, I agree. My processor takes all the strain. Rakon says, global AI ship traffic. More than 1,300 ships with great detail on their real-world routes, all for free. Oh, excellent. I'll have to look it up. Fusion says, where are you in the world right now? Let's show you guys. If that gives you some context. So, still over France. Not really, obviously going to do the Alps today. We'll be on the Pyrenees again. Ooh, frame rate's taking a hit. Oh, there we go, recovered. Didier says, next week I have my new computer just to play this game. Excellent. I already looked for all your tutorials and took some notes. I have so much to learn. Excellent, Didier. Enjoy. You can have a great time. Just make sure to get the mod for the 320 if that's what you're planning to fly. Mariner says, can you not land on 26 right at Gatwick in real life? I'm sure I had to land on 26 right on Batson. No, 26 right's available, but they mostly don't use it. They can't run them at the same time. Emil69 says, hi Zen Pilot, great videos. I learned a lot. I can't skip waypoints in a star if ATC is asking to do so. Before entering a star, direct to works fine, but nothing during flying the star. No, and this is a lateral navigation bug with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's not the fly-by-wire's fault. They've done a fantastic job. But yeah, that sadly is something that hopefully will get fixed when the working title lateral navigation system gets sort of transferred over. Just looking at Palma. Can't see. Okay, can't see what runways in use. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go for a quick break, and then we'll set up for our arrival into Palma de Mallorca. So let's give you a nice wing view, and I'll give you the break music. We'll be back in just a few minutes. So yeah, see you guys very soon. Let me start a timer for you if I can make it work. This works about half the time. Is that going to work? Let's see. Looks like it's not. I need to find a way to add that in. Anyway, break music should run, so we'll see you guys very soon. And before I go, Sir Gosh, thank you very much for your £5 donation. Really appreciate it. I just silence the break music a bit. Thank you, Sir Gosh. Really appreciate the £5 donation. Sir Gosh says, thanks for the charts video. I love my maps and charts, so it's a real treat for me. Thank you so much, Sir Gosh. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the donation, and I'm glad that the video helped you. Yeah, that's really great to hear. Thank you, and thanks for coming along and supporting the channel so much as you do, Sir Gosh. Really kind. So yeah, we'll see you guys very soon. Back in a sec. Hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing very well. Thank you for sticking with it. Let me get off the brake. Set up. There we go. And thank you again to Gosh for your donation. No need to apologise at all. It's yeah, it's my fault. There's always a bit of a delay. Oh, the cat is really upset. But thank you, Sir Gosh. Really appreciate the very kind donation. Have I got all my audio levels right? It's always risky after I fiddle with anything. Lydia, good to see you. Glad you made it again. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're doing well. Paul Smith says, face reveal now that we have 40,000 subscribers. Oh, the cat. No, don't. Oh, the cat nearly walked all over the keyboard. Go on then. You can join us. First officer has arrived. I'm not sure if I'll manage to get her to talk. Hello. You right? You right? Nope. She never talks. Like, she'll complain from the other side of the room, but once she's satisfied that she's got your attention, there's no need to complain anymore. Right, let's get back to the flight deck. We can't just gaze out the window the whole way. Fuel is working really nicely. This is a pretty reasonable, a ton aside fuel flow in a NEO. Yeah, pretty good. Could go up to 370, but I think we have traffic above us now, so we won't get our chance. Josh Rogers said, I was looking to get Orbex Newcastle too, but I saw that an Emirates 777-300 can land there, but where would it park? By the way, love your vids. Keep up the good work, mate. Thank you very much, Josh. Yeah, where does the 777 park at Newcastle? It does go there. That's why they sponsored the tower, I think. The FO is not happy. That was extremely awful. No, that was not a happy FO. Yeah, but she's fine now. She's fine now. Taking her seat. Exactly, Chick Point. Exactly. All sounds good, John Niles. Thanks, John. Yeah, I don't know where they park the 777. I have a feeling the 777 at Newcastle, and anyone, because we've got a few Newcastle locals in the chat, I think they park around here on 9 or 30. That's what I think. They sometimes put that information in. No. Certain arrivals. No, I don't know, I'm afraid, but I think that's where they put them. But that's very much me guessing. I think there. Anyway. Calibrate YouTube. Thanks for coming along. Calibrate says hello. Hopefully you're doing good. I'm doing good. I hope you are as well, Calibrate. Good to see you. John Padfield says the cat could be your FS 2020 equivalent of random failures. Yeah, she could. But yeah, we're not doing. We won't do a face reveal. There'll be no face reveal. Sorry, Paul Smith. Now those are some silent engines. Yeah, they are. Perhaps my desktop audio is a bit quiet. Problem is, if I turn up the desktop audio, you might lose out on a bit of the. Or you might hear too much ATC. We shall see. You guys keep me updated with how it sounds. Cat in the box emoji, good use by Chick Point. Yeah, that break music is from the YouTube library. I do have the name for it, but I need to check that because I've forgotten it right now. I might be able to find it for you guys. No, I won't be able to find it without messing something up. So next time. Gate 9. Yay! Thanks, Kai. We made it. We got it right. It's always the cat's fault, Mr. Martin Torres says. Yeah, exactly. Pazante says Newcastle doesn't look good in the sim with default scenery. I wish there was some freeware. Yeah, no, the Orbex Newcastle is good stuff, definitely. The cat's had plenty of treats. She's just complaining because she just likes attention by this time of day. Isn't that right? It's pretty cold today in the UK though, so it is nice to have a cat warm you up, no doubt about it. Just Gate 9 to Kai as well, fantastic news. I like it when I get something like that right. Fusion Freestyle says, I'm getting better at doing full commercial flights in the sim, but I am still quite confused about the approaches. Yeah, well, we'll talk about the approach in a second. I'm going to do a video on approach charts soon as well. I have the ILS tutorial on the channel if you'd like that, but that's probably a bit basic, yeah. John says, can you please explain the difference between open and managed climbs and the issue with the VS? Yeah, open climb is where the airplane will just go to climb thrusts. You can see on the engine display, here we go, the climb thrust is shown in the corner, and that's the limit. The reason that's the limit is because these are set to climb, so the thrust can go from 0 to climb thrust. You can see that's the auto thrust range there. So that is going to go, thrust can go anywhere from 0 to there. In open climb, the thrust will go to climb thrust, and it will stay there, and the aeroplane will try and stay at this speed. So if you force the thrust to that speed, to climb thrust by using open climb, how will the airplane control the speed? It has to pitch up. So it's the same as flight level change in a Boeing, pretty much. A managed climb is usually the same thing. In a managed climb, the airplane will do climb thrust almost certainly, but it will actually level off at any restrictions coded into the flight plan if there are any. But often it's the same thing. We used climb instead of open climb for the initial climb up quite regularly. Vertical speed. The airplane will fly a vertical speed, and it's quite risky, especially up here, because even if it can't maintain this speed, it will just keep going up at that vertical speed until it loses energy. Eventually, though, the Airbus is very clever. If I try to force it to do a vertical speed it can't maintain safely, i.e. the speed gets too slow, it will actually reduce the vertical speed even then. Adam says, yes, your cat is the best. Yeah, she's great. The cat is, yeah, available if you want to see the cat. The cat's on the Discord. Cat's Behind the Aviators, first post by me. Thank you, Lydia, for your €49 donation. Thank you, Lydia. Really appreciate it. Lydia says, cheers to 40k. Treat yourself with a beer. Thank you so much. I will indeed. Thank you. Really appreciate it, Lydia. Very kind. And thank you so much for coming along today and being a part of the stream today. I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you, Lydia. Really kind. Thank you. The father says, face reveal wearing aviators and a face mask. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we could probably get away with that. John says, the wife and I would love a cat but not allowed by the landlord. That's a shame. Yeah, I used to be like that, but I've been quite lucky with landlords over the last few years. Calibrate says, which do you like better, Boeing or Airbus or other? No, I love the 320. I love flying it. I love the 757. I love flying that. So I really can't choose. But I've never flown a Boeing in real life. Put it that way. So I'd love to try it on because I like trying all of these things. It's aviation, isn't it? Why not try it all? Mickey's posted some cat pitch in the Discord channel. Excellent. Ryan Video says, I find the Orbex Newcastle scenery causes me big FPS drops, but every other UK scenery I have no problems at all. That's strange. I'm a little surprised. I didn't have any trouble there, but yeah, it is possible. Some sceneries do have that effect. Right, it is time for us to prepare. It is definitely time for us to prepare. So let's grab a weather. Oh, AFC, weather. Oh, we'll go straight for an ATIS. I think there should be an ATIS available to us today. I'm also going to just start working on the charts. Excuse me, guys. I'll do that off screen because it's very tedious watching me struggle with the charts. But it'll be a bit easier once we know what we're expecting to do. In terms of an arrival, I'm expecting the LORES 3 Mike, perhaps. Some sort of a LORES arrival anyway. Right, let's see. So there's a few, it's sort of a bit of a puzzle. We need to figure out which runway we're landing on, and then from there we can work out which approach we're going to fly, and from the approach we can work out which arrival we're going to fly. So let's start with the... Oh, I'm making this really difficult. Receive messages, there we go. ATIS new, not available. Now, source Maxim, yeah, okay. A little bit surprised. Let me just check my client that I haven't been disconnected or something. Oh, they don't seem to have an ATIS up online actually. So, who in front of us knows which approach they're making? Because the one golden rule of this channel, not rule, the one thing that is guaranteed to happen on this channel is they change the arrival. It always happens over and over and over. So what we're going to do is we will just go and grab the weather. Weather request. Send. Axel Jack says, tuning into the stream while preparing for my thermofluid mechanics assessment proves to be quite a fun way to study. Excellent, Axel Jack. I hope we're not distracting. That sounds incredibly complicated. But yeah, I hope your assessment goes well. And that you don't end up talking about cats, pizza, pineapple, or Microsoft Flight Simulator in your assessment. But yeah, thanks for coming along, Axel. Elboss says, hi, I love your videos. What are the call signs on at the top? The call sign is VIR Virgin 226 today. Mr. Espresso says, would you like to fly cargo? I would love to fly cargo. Yeah, I'd have no problem doing that. I don't know whether I could say I'd prefer it or not because I've never done it, to be honest. No offline. I checked a few minutes ago. They said 24 left for arrivals. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Here they go. They've got 2305. Fine. Yep. Thank you very much, Mr. Espresso. That's perfect. So let's go for 24 left. Just been sent a message. I must have been missing my place on the frequency. Is that going into the messages section then? Nice controller helping me out. 3235. We do get a lot of very nice controllers helping us on this channel, I must admit. This is Barcelona Control. Barcelona, good evening, version 266, flight level 3502, ROCAN.
Version 266, Barcelona, good afternoon. He's the lowest one path arrival for the RS Zulu approach, runway 24 left.
Thank you, Loris. One Papa arrival, ILS Zulu 24 left expected, version 266. Wow. That is the dream. Now that's rare. Controllers don't normally, area controllers like this, they can sometimes tell you the runway in use, but to give you the ILS 24 Zulu, it's all the information we needed. So there we go. There we're going for the Loris to Papa. No, not that one.
No speed restrictions, copy that. Bravo for Lima 295.
Oh, no, it's okay. 24 left Zulu. Loris 1 Papa. Now let me just check the VIA points. Loris 1 Papa, pretty straightforward. Loris 1 Papa, let me show you what I'm doing, guys. Just bring up the chart. So Loris 1 Papa, it takes us from Loris. And the 3 Mike would go to Zontu. So this is going to drop us off at Polenza, it seems. And then we're going to do the ILS 24 left, Zulu being the most commonly used, which starts at Polenza via Bavum. And that little note number 1 gives us the distances. Okay, so as I said, it's a puzzle, guys. So we know we're doing the ILS 24 left, we know we're doing the Loris arrival. So how do we get from the end of the Loris 1 Papa, which we can see ends, Loris 1 Papa goes here, ends at Polenza. How do we get from Polenza onto the ILS Zulu 24? So I can see I have to go from the VOR at Polenza and in theory to Bavum, which is the holding point, and then in. The alternative is Charlie Delta Papa, which is Not even sure where that is. Where is Charlie Delta Papa? That is over here. But why would we go over here? That's the other side. That's for arrivals from the other side. So, yeah, we'll go via Bavon, which is done automatically actually. So I didn't even think about it. But there you go. And insert. So now, if I can position my screen for you guys. Go to plan, zoom in, and let's just check that's all going to happen as we expect. Lores, Prosper. Should be. Not sure that's right. It's a Bavon. Looks not bad, and then a move. And there's the RS. So there we go. We have our arrival in. Great news. After that, taxi charts. There's the airport, 24 left, vacating to the right. These no entry signs mean don't enter the runway from there, so that you can't take off from there, but we are going to vacate hotspot 2 during east configuration, and we're not on an east during west. Taxiing via south, always continue along taxiway link. So, we'll go for that. And the parking. And that's it. This arrival pretty nice out over the sea, so very safe terrain wise. Difficult terrain here though. Look at this ridge line is pretty high. 7,000 feet MSA, dropping to 5.5 after Zonto. So we are going to actually avoid that because we'll be out to sea. But if they cut us in, we need to be aware of this ridge beneath us if we're not visual with it. Clearance limit is the initial approach fix, which in this case is IAF, initial approach fix. IF is written here, and you can see it's here. IF for runways 24 left and right is Pollensa. Fine. Then in we come. Bit of terrain. And then eventually we'll be in this 3,000 foot MSA area as we insert the ILS. ILS itself, 3-degree approach. Pretty standard, 7.5 mile intercept. So quite a high platform, 2,000, or normal platform I should say, 2,500 feet. So that means the approach can be pretty relaxed. Flap 2, sort of just as we start down the glide slope here at 7.5 miles. Gear down and configuring by 5 miles on the way in. Let's put in the minima. So we've checked our flight plan. We would also check the go around if it was loaded, but it doesn't work. Missed approach, climb on runway heading to 420 feet. Turn left, not before the radial 193 JOA, max 185 knots. Follow radial 193 JOA, climb to 3,000 feet. So 3,000 feet is the go around altitude. It's pretty complex actually. You go straight ahead and then insert that radial out to sea. It's probably like this because of the other runway, so that they have the separation. You're turning away from that other runway. Right, so there's the flight plan. Radnav. Oh yeah, should have cleared those out. Again, it would still navigate just fine. 1093 has tuned, so that's good news. Of course, I think this comes in later, but at the RS, it's pretty good at doing that. I'm going to put in the JOA 1177, and then I can use that and a VOR1 needle, VOR1, in case of that go around. Progress page we know doesn't work. I wonder if it works for like the any VORs. Nope. Perth.
Yep, I'm here, Barcelona. 320 Barcelona, good afternoon. Is the loudest one path arrival for the
not working. The cameras do get restricted when you do that. We'll put that there.
Lower Papa 1 Papa arrival for runway 24 left at Palma.
So 15 degrees, 1023, wind light southerly wind 2305. Transition altitude, now it should be transition level, it would be on the ATIS, but it's gone offline. I'm going to cheat. If I look up the transition altitude on departure, it's normally 6,000 feet, so I'm going to put in 70 because it's a high QNH, so I think it would be 7,000 in this case. We'll do a flat full landing, and our minima for the approach today is... Oh, I'm getting some bad connection here. Minima 239. We're a Cat C airplane, of course. Not the radio. And now you see they've changed the format. So like I say, this is the 321 NEOs have a format like this. It's quite strange, but there it is. The clean speed is this O, green dot speed, 206. Next phase, we said 3,000 feet in the end, so we go around. In it goes. So we're doing a little top hat, flight plan, radnav, prog, perf, fuel, loads of fuel. Burnt a bit extra. I know that 4 tons wasn't quite accurate extra, but there we go. It's working out. Still got plenty to go to Barcelona if we need to. Secondary flight plan doesn't work. So that is pretty much that. Let me jump back into the chat. Hopefully we can get an ATIS a bit closer in. They've got an approach, but no, they have not got an ATIS. So Palma de Mallorca is the third biggest airport in Spain after Madrid and Barcelona, of course.
Warning 3935, descent flight level 70.
It's massive. In fact, it carries 29 million passengers a year in 2019, which is remarkable. Average temperature this time of year, somewhere between 13 and 15 degrees Celsius, so quite pleasant. But yeah, our holiday makers are perhaps a little bit optimistic. I hope they aren't all in their swimming trunks. Virgin Sun, as I said, that started in 1999. Ran through to October 2001. They had a sort of different in-flight service, so they gave you, like I say, a cocktail on boarding. When you flew home, you'd get an ice lolly, like a little ice cream thing to eat on your way back. So that sounds all quite fun. Eventually, this they were sold into Air 2000s, the company. So there you go, our classic jet sets. Palma de Mallorca Airport as well shares a runway with the military, so you do see military planes there quite often.
Report mark number.
Map number.
It's a good job we got controllers now separating us for the arrival.
Second number by number, please.
It's Tango. We've not started descent. We just did our brief. Thanks. Hope your afternoon went well. Still got a bit of room here.
Mag number, please. Your mag number.
Definitely getting up to descent point now.
3 Virgin 90.
Virgin 90. Thank you. In the descent Max 76.
130 track miles. It's definitely time. So there's still no descent arrow, you can see. So let's go for low auto brake today. We've got a nice long roll out to the right there. Go back to constraint just to see that on the way in. There's our decel point. But yeah. Bit of a tailwind as well. 35, so 90, 105, 115, 125. It's pretty much time to go down. Pretty much, yeah.
Iberia 17834 mark number.
Yeah, it is a nice approach, Beckham. I agree. Rusty Ray, good to see you. Doing very well. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming along. Yeah, we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Seems like it might not be sequenced, says Matt. Yeah, it's saying Lores. It should appear white on here. If we press flight plan in here, it's got Lores as white. So I think it is sequenced, but it's not. Yeah, it's not quite appearing right, is it, on the ND? Clearly a few bugs in the ND at the moment. Is this material between the windshield and the screens realistic? Looks like cheap vinyl. It's a sort of squidgy material. It's not this wrinkled in real life. Or it doesn't come across as that wrinkled, but it's slightly soft touch, yeah. So it's quite robust. I see paint wear off all the time, but this stuff seems to last quite well. John Knowles says, just getting back into VATSIM after 15 years. Have to say the quality of control management is amazing. Yeah, they are fantastic, and they're always very nice with us, even when we just dive into an airport with so many of us these days. Didn't used to be like that. We used to fly around with just me.
Version 266, report mark number.
Version 266, we are currently Mach decimal 78 and requesting descent.
Version 266, maintain Mach 76 or less, descent flight level 250 on the descent.
Decimal 76 or less, descend now, flight level 250, version 266. Okay. No surprise there, traffic ahead, so 76. 250. So if we had a vertical profile, I could do a managed descent. It's not in there yet, so we're going to do thrust idle open descent. So who spotted the problem here? We're being slowed down. So we're a little bit high, and now we're being slowed down. So that means we're going to have less drag. So it's possibly a day for the speed brakes. We shall see what happens as we carry on.
On final 0 Wellington 50.
Dr. Darinaho says, do Siamese cats change the amount of black fur depending on ambient temperature? Now, I've always thought that because of QI showed it, but it seems to not be an ambient temperature thing. It's a thing that happens over many years. Roby169 says, when you retract the gear after takeoff, do you have to squeeze the brakes in the Airbus? Nope, they're automatic. What that's talking about is the landing gear. If you spin a weight, or a wheel, it produces a gyroscopic effect. If you were to spin the wheels, or if you have a gyroscope and you move it, so for example we had the wheels down and we move it up like that at that angle, so sort of sideways, we're applying pressure onto a gyroscope which then exerts through 90 degrees and it creates massive twisting motions, really bad. So the wheels on modern airliners will actually, on all aircraft really, modern airliners, the brakes will automatically apply slightly to stop the wheels spinning before retracting. Now aircraft like the Dash 8, where the wheels retract backwards, it's not an issue because the force isn't applied in the sideways direction as they brought up. So the Dash 8 didn't do that, it would just rattle away. On little aircraft, you have to do it yourself. So on things like our Piper Arrow,
version 266, no more speed restriction, contact Palma approach 119.4, bye-bye.
Free speed 119.4, version 266, thank you, goodbye. Nice controller. Yeah, it's one of those things that you just get used to when you're on smaller aircraft, but on the Airbus now you don't have to do it. Just like everything automatic. I don't know, is the 7.3 automatic? I assume so. I don't know. SA says, Jesse says, I had a mare deleting waypoints today, it just messes up everything. Yeah, we had a bit of fun earlier. Now that rate of descent at decimal 76, I feel like there's too much drag here. There's your speed. I'm a little surprised to see it dive at 4,000 feet per minute.
Left after Papa's Casera, continue pressing heading.
QNH 1024, descend 5,000 feet, expect ILS 24.
EBOS, those airports you're talking about, like in America, like JFK or Cord, we're going to fly over to America and do those that way. Outstar, there we go.
Charlie Delta, turn right heading 24 over 0 degrees.
Right heading 24.
Axel Jack says, would you ever descend from your cruising altitude greater than 3 degrees, e.g. 4 degrees, to save some fuel, or would it be too uncomfortable? No, you can descend faster. But it usually means you could have descended a bit earlier. If you're descending that steeply, you're probably going faster, which meant you used more fuel to stay in the cruise for longer, rather than idle thrust in the descent.
90, radar contact, level 250, descend, fly level...
Zebo, I have thought about Louis Barton. Yeah, Zebo and X-Plane, definitely.
Papa, 24 left.
8455 says, yep, countless times I've watched the Dash 8 gear attract while rotating full speed. Yeah, and then you can feel it rattling in the wing, because they're connected like right onto that wing spar. It's called precession, the gyroscopic effect. There you go, thanks Kay, Hotchkiss, thank you. Roby says, does the Airbus have a drag required type message? Yes, it does. It would say more drag. Oh, new cruise, there you go. It would say more drag, and it puts it on the PFD as well, which is something it would be saying today at this rate.
EC87, EC87 Charlie Delta, present heading clear ILS Sul approach, runway 24 left.
Oh yeah, the tilting bug in the default 320, yeah, where it banks to one side as you try and land. See, that's just broken. It's not simple, it's just broken. That's my worry with it.
220 left, EC87 Charlie Delta.
We're going to struggle to get a word in here. Moving really high. Aaron, good to see you. Aaron says, well, you caught me on my first day shift. Good morning and congrats on 40,000. Thank you very much, Aaron. Thanks for coming along. Glad to see you here. Steve says, is there a reason the max water brake's not selectable for landings? Yeah, you would never use it in real life because it's too aggressive. It would engage too quickly, bring the nose down. So no, you can't use max water brake for landing. Palma version 266, flight level 250 to Loris.
Virgin 266, radar contact level 250, and expect Loris 1 Papa arrival 24 left, descend flight level 80.
Descend flight level 80, Loris 1 Papa 24 left, version 266. Fantastic. 80 it is. Sometimes you can't get a word in, but when it's really busy like that, although I should probably have given this controller all the information, such as the aircraft type, the information we have, and so on. But if it's really busy, sometimes I'll just give them a bit less just to see if they want to talk to us yet, because they might be busy with other people. Duncan, thank you very much, Duncan Clary, for your 5 Swiss franc donation. Really appreciate it, Duncan. Duncan says, my wife loves your streams as well. Thank you for the content. You're really welcome, Duncan. Thank you so much for your very kind donation. I hope you're doing very well. Really appreciate it. And I'm glad your wife's enjoying the streams as well. Thank you. And thank you for your donation. Thank you so much.
Somebody, I called you. Break, easy 3 to Mike, left
right.
100.
This is where it should have converted to speed already.
All stations on the ground, please contact tower 118.3.
So let's slow it down.
All stations on the ground, contact tower
it's doing its nav mode. 20,000 feet, 63 miles to run. We are a little bit high. Let's just get those speed brakes out. There they are. Now that you wouldn't get all 4, this is more ground sport as you're looking at. But yeah, there you go. But thank you, Duncan. Thank you for your donation. Dr. Darren Nahu says, does a 320 have an attention meter like you get in cars? No. No, that's the other pilot. It's not used on flights. Long-haul aircraft do have things like that. Roby says, is it ever legal possible to fly a plane like a 320 on a VFR flight? It is... I don't see why not, but I don't know of anyone that would do it. Because most operators that operate the aircraft are required to be flying at IFR.
My radar contact level 250. The expect load is 1 Papa arrival, runway 24 left.
Jen says, how high are you allowed to put the gears for drag, or is it not possible? Yeah, you can use gear for drag. It's one of the best ways to get drag. Now, you have to be below 15,000 feet to use a landing gear. The flaps are below 20,000 feet.
Papa arrival, runway 24 left. Descend flight level 90.
Louis says, would you normally have the dome light on during night flight in the cruise? Yeah, probably, yeah. And then you turn it off as you start your descent. Not a rule though. Some people, I mean, I don't mind having it off for and then using the other little lights around the flight deck for the cruise. 2 more likes and we'll make 400. Yeah, if you are watching the video, do please hit the like button. It makes a big difference, and we're trying to get to 400 likes today for our 40,000. There we go. Thank you so much. 400 likes reached. Thank you. And thank you, Victor Tango, for that. But thank you for the likes, guys. Right, here we go. That's Posba. Now we're going to Babham.
Sorry, 240.
It's a shame we can't see the traffic. In the real Airbus, we'd have a lot more situational awareness now. Thanks, Shanks247. So the first one has made it in. Excellent news.
Right heading 170, D32 Mike.
The wing ice light is just used for ice, and it's not even used that often for that. Oh, where's it going now? It looks like it's cutting out Babham.
Virgin 90 after Papa Oscar Sierra, heading 100.
After Papa 0 Sierra, heading 100.
Just going to force it back to Babham. 43 miles, 13,000 feet.
Virgin 266, left heading 110.
Thank you, left heading 110, version 266. Oh, that solves our problem. Because that wasn't going great. We were managing, but yeah, not great. So there's 110. Heading.
Approach screenings.
Okay.
The Mike X-ray 320.
They're probably dim, but maybe bright. Does depend. Approach checklist then. Briefing confirmed.
CMX 320. Hello, radar contact.
ECAM status is checked. Seatbelts are going to come on shortly. So I'm using this generic checklist. It's available on the Discord, but yeah, it actually clearly I need to be below 10,000 feet before I can use it properly. So we're going to level off at flight level 80. I'm going to bring the speed brakes in now.
260 degrees, clear ILS, full approach runway 24.
Because we are heading further out than I expected.
EC3 to Mike, right heading 260, clear the LS approach, runway 24 left.
Ed says, I'm back. Love the run into Palma. Reminds me of my many holidays there. Yeah, it's beautiful. The Balearic Islands are just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful places to fly into. So there's that ridge we saw on the charts. That's the terrain. We don't want to be too low over. 7,000 MSAs over there.
Region 266, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1024.
Descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1024, version 266.
Chanix 105 Mike, descend 6,000 feet, 1024.
5,000 feet, QNH
1024.
1024. Actually, I'm just going to press B. That'll do. In real life, you'd match up perfectly, obviously. Let's get the ILS on. 250 knots for the controller. If I go to managed, should do it. There it is. And come on, you can do it. There we go. So 5,000 feet, 1024. Right, so done our briefing. Done our ecam status. Seatbelts can come on. Landing lights obviously on now through 10,000 feet. Barrier F is set on 1025. MD-ADH set to 239. Engine mode selector, definitely normal. Lovely day out there. Right. Now I'm going to activate the approach phase, so we're ready for the approach. You'll see that forces the speed to come back, and I'm hoping we'll see the ILS tune.
Right, heading to
Now this could be a bug. Is this still a bug? Does anyone remember? So
is it possible direct to Meadows?
I might. Let's see. Let's pull the speed. Don't want to slow down yet. The controller won't be too happy with this. Just do 250. I'm going to pull vertical speed. We'll do 1200. Let's do 1,000 feet per minute for now. And let's put in
bye-bye. EC3 to Mike, speed 220 or greater.
Speed 220 or greater, EC3 to Mike.
Within 90, continue right heading 240.
Could be range. I think Microsoft Flight Simulator only does it within a certain range as well.
Heading right 240 for the IR.
Let's just try iPal.
Chanix 105 Mike, turn left heading 110.
Okay, let's tune it.
Left heading 110, Chanix 105 Mike.
Clearing 266, descend 3,000 feet, right heading 150.
Right heading 150, descend 3,000 feet, version 266. Oh.
Approach, good evening, Iberia 178.
3,000 feet.
Iberia 178, radar contact level 250,
150.
descend, aspect load is 1 Papa arrival, LS Sul approach runway 24 left, descend, fly level 70.
Thank you very much for your subscriptions. TO2, I'm just going to mute the alert box for a second because a lot of subscriptions are going to come through. 3,000 feet heading 150. There we go.
Version 266, start reducing speed 230 or less.
230 or less, version 266. 230 knots. But thank you for your subscriptions to those of you subscribing. Really appreciate it. Thank you. 230 knots or less. He said or less actually, so I'm just going to go manage speed. Just start reducing speed. Thank you to Wilgosh and to Toma and to Boca and Daniel. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll just mute the bot just because it does get a bit overexcited at this point. So this is a bit frustrating. This is where I'd like to see my ILS and my DME, but it's just not having it. We are visual. Now this is a sim bug, so if this happens, I could just fly straight in. So how far out are we? That's where I really get my situational awareness for this one. So we are way out actually. That's 20. So we're at least 30 miles out. 6, 12, 18.
Virgin 266 right heading 210 degrees. Correction 215 degrees. Clear the LS Sul approach runway 24 left. And speed 220 or less.
220 or less. Right heading 215. Clear LS Zulu 24 left. Version 266. So the real Airbus could easily display you all that information. Anyway, we're right heading 215, but sadly, as we know, the lateral navigation is just a little bit lacking, so the ILS isn't working. So I'm going to go to heading 215. Now what I could also do in the real airplane is I could draw a radial in, a fixed info, but that doesn't work either.
Left 110, MX320.
And Virgin 266, yeah, I told you to descend 3,000 right.
I'm descending 3,000 feet, version 266. So what I might do is I'm just going to get us onto the centre line, then go direct to Bavum. Our vertical speed is under control. 612.8. We are well below profile, so that's absolutely fine. He's told us to slow down, so we're coming back to 210. He said 220 or less. Those aren't crumbs. There's good texturing. This is where the paint's worn off, which is very common. The tray table is used a lot. It's going in and out all the time, so yeah, it does get a bit like that.
Virgin 90, turn right heading 250 to
Okay, alert box should be back on.
Good evening.
Just then, see the ILS now, Virgin.
Right, what I'm going to do, again, this is not realistic.
German Air 21281.
Is just get onto that centre line and then go direct, because I think it will come to life as we get a bit closer. Unless anyone has any better ideas for us. It's in the approach phase.
CMX 320, continue descending.
Excuses, yeah, excuses. Oh, goodness me. Sun's in our eyes. That can be the excuse for today. And the ILS isn't working, it seems. It would normally say as well, ILS 24 left up here.
Sunx 105 Mike, start reducing speed 220 knots.
Obstacle alert would be for, it could be a crane or a bridge. Terrain would obviously be for the ground beneath you. Yeah, good point, Matt. Other excuses we need.
Expect load is 1 Papa arrival, ILS full approach,
goodness me. I'm sure we can think of something. Sunny days with 5 knots of wind are always a sign of a landing being a little bit rougher. I'm hoping it will come to life. Is it at 25 miles it comes to life or something like that? The Toliss NX plane has lots of these things. Yeah, the Toliss NX plane.
Virgin 266, right heading 235 to intercept.
Riding 235 to intercept, Virgin 266. He's looking after us. 235 is basically the down the runway. But the wind is coming from behind, so he's just being nervous. There's our localizer. Perfect. So let's do the localizer. Lock star. And I won't arm the approach until I can see the glide slope. This does happen sometimes where you'll want to, you might feel comfortable using the localizer but not the glide slope. We won't see that glide slope until, if we stayed at 5,000 feet of course, we wouldn't see it until 15 miles. But it is coming together. Yeah, it is tuned in. It's just the distance out here. There we go. It's identified now, iPal. We look here for the ident in the real aircraft as well. You wouldn't arm anything until you had it. Good thing is it's sequenced to Apumu, so that's looking promising.
Right, route direct, Papa Tango Charlie, please.
Sorry, Papa Tango Charlie.
Extreme Paul, hello from Hamburg, good to see you. 20 to 25 miles for the ice, yeah. In real life, you know, it could be up to 30, you could see it, and probably longer. Just your visuals, you get your shout out, thanks for coming along. Oscar Lamprecht, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, Oscar, thanks for coming along today.
200 knots or less, Chanix 105 Mike.
We're going to get slowed down soon, I can feel it coming. So I'm going to put up the first stage of flap. He said 220 or less, so speed is good. Flaps to 1. Oh, and the replay tool. That's what I needed.
German Air 1281, contact Barcelona control, frequency 132.
So if it works. It does push my... I can hear my computer complaining.
Virgin 266, speed 200 or greater, please.
Okay, 200 or greater, Virgin 266. Okay.
Thank you. CMX 320, right heading 250.
Well, 200 knots it is. We're still 18 miles out, so that's easily comfortable. I was convinced we'd be slowed down, but obviously not. There we go. Glide slope's coming in. We're clear for the ILS, 17 miles out. Reasonable glide slope then above us, so I'm going to arm the approach and the second order pilot. There's a glide slope blue and armed, Cat 3 single, AP1+2. It goes to Cat 3 dual when you're below 5,000 feet rad out, although 5,000 rad out isn't displayed.
5,000 feet, Greenwich 1024, Iberia 178.
Sunx 105 Mike, speed 180 or less.
180 or less, Chanix 105.
In we come, lucky passengers. Must be traffic all around us. I do quite like it in...
266, so for that, speed 200 knots until 10 DME, and contact tower 118.3, bye-bye.
No problem at all, thanks for your control. 200 knots to 10 DME, 118.3, version 266, goodbye.
Goodbye. NX105 Mike.
Very nice controller looking after us today.
Clear the LS full approach and we...
Tower 183, he said 180, sorry, 200 to 10. Now that's absolutely fine. That 200 to 10, 190 to 9, 180 to 8, you know, so you just count down like that and you can work it out. There's our terrain showing up on the map. We're sneaking in, there's that high terrain off to the north, hence our left turn if we go around. I'm just going to remind myself of the go around because it is busy. We want to go. I'm going to put in course 193. And if we go around, I can go to the VOR and intercept that as I head south. Basically, that's a rough plan. 200 to 10 is absolutely fine. And we're below max landing weight, all looking good. Does it busy out there? This is proper speed control.
Stand by for a second before you taxi. EC32 Mike.
EC32 Mike.
The DME is shown down here. There's the glide slope, so we'll check our going altitude now. We wanted 3,000 feet,
Foxtrot EC32 Mike.
which we have.
November 6 Alpha taxi the Lima. Foxtrot. Excuse me. Lima,
Right, there's 10 miles.
Juliet,
Gear down.
Link.
Manage the speeds.
North. Hotel 2. The holding point 24 right.
Below 200 knots, but I can select that speed a bit lower. Go to 180.
What was left? 24 right.
Yeah, holding point Hotel 224 right.
There's a radio altimeter, 2,500. And we didn't actually, we didn't need to put the gear down there. I'm just trying to balance my workload now because I'm trying to get this cool in. You could have saved the gear. The plane would have slowed down quite happily from there. Tower version 266, ILS 24 left, 7 miles. DME is distance measuring equipment. Hence it's just used to show your distance to VORs, things like that. Okay, let's go to manage speeds, let it slow down. Flaps 2. Don't speed it up, spool down please. Anyway, gears down, arm those.
EC3 to Mike Tower, is that a left or a right hand turn here?
See, it's not worth getting too excited about the gear because already we need to slow down now. Let's go to flaps 3.
EC3 to Mike, thank you.
Oh, there's a very early rad-out call, so we're going to pass through the 1,000, but we'll be less than 1,000. Sorry, we'll be more than 1,000 above the ground, even if we're not more than 1,000 on the radio altimeter. Tower version 266, ILS 24 left, 5 miles.
Version 266, runway 24 left, clear line, wind is calm.
Clear land 24 left, version 266. Sometimes you just have to
Version 90,
call in. Landing aircraft do have priority over everyone. Right, here we go then. Just give it a go. We are stable at 1,000 feet, so landing checklist cabin is secured. All the thrust is in speed mode. Go around altitude is 3,000 feet set. EK memo landing no blue. Fantastic stuff. So let's go and give it a go. Done our excuses. Through 1,000 feet. Now, the pitch attitude seems to have changed. Let's see what happens. Okay, no, that's good actually. 2.5 degrees, 700 feet per minute. That's about what I want.
Still wanted us short of Foxtrot, but we'll continue to stand 18. Thanks.
Yeah, you were going to hold short, but yeah, you're clear now.
Graphics are set to ultra for this one, guys. I used to have it set to medium, now I just set it to ultra. It doesn't seem to make much difference. Crucially, I want windshield effects to ultra. Anyway, landing time. So, we've got to go in altitude. We're going to make that left turn in and set the radial south. Terrain is obviously off to the north. Got loads of fuel if we need to, 5.3 tons. There's our landing light, auto brake low, cabin ready, and you see landing inhibit because the airplane knows we're trying to land now. So it's not going to disturb us. And now we're getting huge frame rate drops, probably as all those airplanes load in. Bartek says auto land's late. We should do an auto land at one of these days. Autopilot off. I'm saying lever symmetry, but that's just a sort of sensitivity issue in the way my joysticks are set up. It's not really meaning anything for us here. Right, aiming for that touchdown zone. 2 whites, 2 reds. Don't get too sensitive on that glide slope. All simulators at home seem to have some sort of oversensitivity on the glide slope. And I meant to start the replay. Hold on.
0.5 miles.
Okay, hopefully that started. Not what I should be doing on final approach. Right, let's get it over there.
105, continue the approach.
See the glide slope's way up there, that's not right, so. I've got 4 whites on the pappies, also not right. It's all a bit oversensitive. Idle the thrust levers, into the flare, hold it there, not too much. There's touchdown. Get those reverses out. Oh, it's still too sensitive on that rudder. I don't know how to sort that one out. They've come off there. We're still doing 80 knots, so I'm going to go for the next high speed to the right. But there we go. Welcome to Palma.
Can you give us our location relative to 18, please? We've got no ground markings or anything.
Let's.
Actually, make the left. That's the 18 is the next.
So we want to be careful of that traffic. We don't want to bump into them as we leave. But yeah, here we are, guys. Manual brakes. We're going to vacate here. Sounds like there's people coming in behind us because he was warning people about late landing clearances. Oh, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. There we go. What did we get? 90 was it? Very good. Bit of a float always helps the software.
Thanks for your patience.
There's the Virgin 90 on our right. That is our colleague. Yeah, the how do you say budget in Spanish?
No problem.
Well, it's is it burro? Burro in Italiano. Yeah, we might struggle with ground markings. I meant to get the freeware Palma, but I didn't do it in time. And here we go. Yeah, so you can see that glide slope and pappies, they're all a bit sensitive at the end. You don't want to start reacting to those. Runway vacated, version 266.
Version 266. Make a right turn on south. And left on link, follow your company to the stand number 18.
Okay, right turn onto south, then link, follow the company to 18, version 266. Right. There we go. Let's get ourselves out of the way. I've got the ground chart for that. So I think a right turn. They've got some strange labellings here. Yeah, so this is the south. We're going to take a hard right here onto south. Then we're taking link up the back of that terminal behind that 320 NEO over there. So let's get ourselves over there. Oh, that's a bit much. Let's disarm those speed brakes. Get the flaps in. We did record that, so we'll get a little replay. So don't worry, guys. But thank you all for coming along on the flight today. I hope you enjoyed it. Burr is in Italian. There we go. Let's get that strobe lights off, landing lights off. And we're going to go and park up. I'm going to leave everything else out. I'm going to just start the APU. You guys know why. It's because I want the replay to work. So, yeah. But yeah, we're going to go left on south, not here. Next one up. Won't take us too long to get over to stand, but thank you all for coming along. If you did enjoy the approach, do please hit the like button on the way out. It's very much appreciated. We're going to go and squeeze in front of our colleague here. Follow them over there. Busy, busy airport today. This is what Palma's like. Palma is a busy airport, as we said, 3rd busiest in Spain. Oh, that's a little bit fast. That is a little bit fast. You might find your nose wheel sliding if you tried that.
Airbus 320 in front of you.
This is not how rudders move the plane. No, and it's the same on landing. You see how sensitive it is. But as I said, yeah, don't focus on that glide slope or pappies, because by that point we're looking at the middle of the touchdown zone, driving the airplane to where we want to be. Shortly afterwards, you're just looking down the runway for the landing. Like I say, the recorder is up and running, so that should be good news. And we're going to go on to stand 18. Stand 18 is actually on the terminals. That's quite a nice stand. Looking forward to it. But I'm going to leave the flaps out, as I said. Turn the radar off. Just because I don't want to mess up the replay too much.
Palma is closing. Contact Barcelona radar.
Palma's closing. There you go. There's been too many arrivals probably for them, because that was a busy time. There's still airplanes out there on approach. Fantastic. They did a fantastic job, no doubt. Look at them, everyone arriving. Thank you all for those who've flown along as well. Great fun to have people come along. Dave N, you're very welcome. Willing it's in a 320? Absolutely. Winglets in the 321? Yeah, 321s have winglets nowadays.
Mantenga escucha para autorización. Lo llamo.
Deshan says, how can I get the Thrustmaster joystick? I have it, it's really hard to play using a keyboard. I got it from, there you go, following our colleague here, from a website called box.co.uk. I don't know if they still have it in stock, but the joystick seems a little easier to get at the moment. It's the add-on I can't find anywhere.
67 Delta Papa.
Okay, we're now heading around to the add-on. I don't have rudder twitching with the side stick, no, but I have my rudder assigned to some pedals, which I quite like. Ebos, thanks for coming along. Ebos says, thanks for bringing me here. I'll be Google mapping the dickens out of this sunny place. Yeah, enjoy. You'll find your way around. We're going to park up with our colleague, and our colleague's behind us.
Number 82 via 02, Mike.
Oh, I did bring the flaps in, so I'm going to put the flaps back out for the replay. That's what we need to do.
Correct. And Iberia 178, the wind's calm, runway 24 left.
See Gonzalez, thanks for coming. Glad you enjoyed it. Dan and Jay, thank you as well.
28001.
We're almost parked up, and then we'll get the replay going. Yeah, that's in the UK, Deshaun. Yeah, box.co.uk. And I think a few other places have had it recently. Box has the joystick in stock, says Andrew. There you go. Thank you again, guys, for the 40,000 subscribers. We're going to do a long haul stream very soon on the channel, so I'm really looking forward to that, and we'll enjoy the community we have. It's amazing that so many of you guys keep coming back and have contributed so much. So thank you all so much for being a part of the channel. It means the world to me, and it's been such a joy to sort of. I've been learning flight sim with you guys basically, as well as talking about the Airbus. So I think this is stand 22. They're parking on 20. We're going to go for 18. We'll just scoot around the back there. So we're in between these two. Yeah, we're all arriving together. This is great. Can we get a belly up replay, says Dr. Donaho? I don't know what would happen there. Yeah, goodness knows. Yeah, this one is slightly missing, lacking in scenery. There's no doubt about that. This is default scenery, of course. I should have definitely installed the freeware. I totally meant to do it and then forgot. So the fleet, the Virgin Sun fleet is arriving. Again, I wish the fleet showed up there. I hope they're working on the model matching being more accurate, or certainly the liveries, because I know they said they were. They just had to sort out some licensing and so on. Yeah, Alex, long haul coming soon on the channel. Yeah. And what I'm going to do now, as I said, I was meant to take stand 18, but I couldn't see it, so I took the one next. Perfect. There we go. So I'm not going to fiddle with anything else. We won't turn it off. We're going to disconnect from VATSIM. If I can find the app. Thank you very much to the VATSIM controllers. They've done an amazing job. And now, let us stop recording. Hit the replay button. Let's go have a look at that landing. Look at that. The magic of this free tool. It's just great. Except for the don't sink warning. Good angle, got to get that livery in. So there we go. I'd say that was a sort of normal over the threshold. Into the flare. Bit of a float. Bit of a float. There's the touchdown. Wobbling over to the centre line. So there we go. Not much to say really. That is what we did. I can pause that. We can rewind. See that once more. Now, I definitely pressed that too late, but what I can do, I think, if I jump into the drone. Give me a second, guys. Let's see if we can go get a threshold view. It is nice when you when we have that option, and we'll just have one of those sort of flyby views because we can't resist that. And I'll turn off drone follow. Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens if we do this. So in we came. There's that don't sink warning. Lovely afternoon or sunset arrival as we'd hoped. Like one of those Formula 1 drones that whizzes around, or helicopters that whiz around with the all the airplanes. And there we went. Touchdown a bit further along. It's amazing the distance these things cover, isn't it? There we go. Sorry about that. That was not my smoothest camera work. And then we had no chance of making that exit after that float. We were still doing about 80 knots past this point. So it's not worth trying. You'll just, you know, upset the passengers and you'll potentially slide and wear out the brakes. So you just go to the next one, keep the speed up, and that works for you. Right. So we're going to jump then into the showcase view. Which wing view is going to work? I think a view off the right-hand side would be nice. Do we have any there? Yeah. Yeah, we do. Our standard one. Right, guys. I'm going to put it back here. I'm going to say, as ever, thank you all so much for taking the time to come along. Thank you to the incredibly generous people who've donated to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who's liked the video. 463 likes. I can't believe it. Yeah, brilliant. And just, I'm sorry if I've missed anyone in chat. Corrosive Moon's had to excuse herself. But thanks very much for coming along, Corrosive Moon. We'll see you again soon. But yeah, thank you all for the journey to 40,000 subscribers. It's been amazing. Thank you for taking the time to chat. And even if you don't chat or like, but you're just watching, thank you for coming along. I really appreciate it. And we will see you again soon. Live stream coming soon. Thanks to the moderators. Thank you to those who flew along. Thank you to, of course, all the people who've been involved and helped out with the channel and helped grow it to where it is. I'm going to give you the outro music now. We'll see you again in another live stream soon. As I said, long haul is my plan to be the next one, but no guarantees. We'll see what happens. And you will keep safe and well. See you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.